Hey guys, I've been going through our new releases and I picked two incredible Vampirella Year 1 covers as giveaways for this week's shows. Monday with Robbie and Wednesday with AR Comics. But you gotta watch to see which one is gonna be featured on which day. So come check us out on The Experience.
At 6 p.m. And those are Jay Lee covers and Lucho Perillo covers.
Thank you, Nick.
She was teasing you. She didn't want to say it, but I had to throw it out there.
All right.
So the best part, Amy's going to step in and let just Rex know which it is because she's making the call.
Okay, this is going on too long.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the show here on a Sunday night, July 24th, 2022. To be exact, happy to be here. Even happier that you're here. So once you get in here, in the room, show us that you're here. Let us know that you're here. Throw out a station, a pop, pop, boom, all that stuff. By the way, yeah, station, pop, pop, boom. How is everybody doing? We got a great show lined up for you tonight. This is the show where we talk about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We have a lot to talk about this evening. First of all, we're going to look back, how far back in time to last week, and talk about our favorite comic books of last week. Then we're going to look ahead at what's coming up in shops this week, including the DC sneak peek. DC's got books out this week. I read them, believe it or not. We're going to talk about them. We're going to be talking about the San Diego Comic-Con Marvel Studios panel, the reveal of Phase 5 and 6, the Multiverse Saga, all that stuff. We'll be talking about that tonight, as well as other San Diego announcements, I'm sure. We're doing Image in the 90s. We're going to be talking about the very first Image #1 ever, Youngblood #1. That's what we're talking about tonight. It's been a long time coming, and tonight's the night. Youngblood #1 on Image in the 90s. Then we're going to be talking about The Buddhist Fist, the latest step in my Kung Fu cinema journey. We'll be talking about our top 5 movies of 2010, a little bit of show and tell, all that and more. And even though we have a plan, grandiose, some may call it, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. What do you want to talk about? Get it out right now. Let us know you're here in the room. Throw out a pop, pop, boom, or a station, or whatever, however you zoom. And let's just get this shit going, man. Super excited, everybody. This is fantastic. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, be sure to join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You should check out popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. And, of course, you can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP like these fine PCP patrons listed right there. We appreciate all the support. You can also support with the super chat, but all the support that we really need is a like, a share, a subscribe. Let people know this is the hypest place to be if you're into comics, movies, pop culture, and all kinds of other craziness. This is the best place to be on Sunday night. It's Rockin Robbie Live. What do we got coming up this week? Lots of cool stuff. Action Fest rolls on through tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time with The Golden Child, which I have discovered is not really an action film, but nevertheless, we'll be talking about The Golden Child. That's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time. Friday night, we have the monthly comic book review, but we're actually going to be doing June and July because we haven't, and I'm very excited to have two newbies to the panel. So this upcoming Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time, join me, Damien from Sleepy Reader 666, Nick from Comic Culture, and Chris from Chaos and Comics as we chat about what our favorite comic books were in June and July of this year. Best comics of the summer, if you will. And then Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Dylan's Horror Show, we're talking about Stephen King's The Night Flyer, movie that you can't really find to stream, but apparently it is on YouTube, so, you can check that out. So Action Fest tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, The Golden Child. Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, the best comics of June and July with Damien, Nick, and Chris. And then Dylan's Horror Show, The Night Flyer. So how's everybody doing? Let's look up in the chat, see who all is here. And like I said, once you get in here, throw out a station. What do you want to talk about? What's the subjects tonight? GT Comic first in the room. Then we got the artist formerly known as Jesse Say What. Station to people all over the world. Hell yeah. We got Nova 69 up in the house. We got Kenneth. Hey, what's up? We got JT. We got Eric. We got Fanboy Rusty Rage. What is up, everybody coming up into the room? We got 62 Lefty Blues. Looking at all these pimp wagons in the same place, he says. Who else? We got Moni up in the house. Hell yeah. I want to give a big shout out to Moni. He's been supporting us over at Patreon. We really do appreciate that. Don't think it don't go unnoticed. Now, we appreciate all levels of support from everybody. By the way, Patreon does give you access to the weekly comic book review and a downloadable audio file available hours before it drops on YouTube. And that's at all levels. We got Father Time up in the house. I'm a father time. That's a song for Bill and Ted. It's good shit. We got Mark McGrath. What is up, Mark? How are you doing? Got lots of cool people up in the room. More people than are chatting. Let us know that you're here. Taki is in the house. Pop, pop, boom. How is everybody doing? I will also say this. PCP mystery boxes are currently available. PCP mystery boxes are now available. There are only 9 left. Actually, there's only 8 left as I'm speaking right here. They are $30. That does include shipping and handling and all that stuff. They will be packed with comics and other fun little trinkets. Everybody that gets a PCP mystery box usually is incredibly pleased. So this will have a mix of comics and some other random surprises, like maybe some toys, maybe some movies. You never know what's going to come up in your PCP mystery box. They are available. If you are interested, email us at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. We will send you an invoice. You pay the invoice. We ship them. They are shipping out absolutely this week. So we only have 8 more available. Reach out at popculturephilosophers.com. Or popculturephilosophers@gmail.com if you want to check it out. All right. Super excited to be here tonight. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about the San Diego news, in particular the Marvel Cinematic Universe news, but there are a couple little things. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a tease to a new Jonathan Hickman, Valerio Schiti comic book coming from Marvel for next year. We have no idea what it is, but that was teased. We had a new Fantastic Four writer teased, and so Fantastic Four did this thing where it was like a compass, just like November, and so they did this compass bit. And the idea is that it pointed north and it said writer, so people were thinking it's Ryan North. And then it pointed down to the bottom, it said artist under South. So people think it's somebody, what's his name? Is it Matthew Southward or something like that? And then the compass was pointing to the west, which is opposite of east, and the idea is that the direction is that the Fantastic Four are going to be going to the west coast. And the Fantastic Four have always been firmly rooted in New York City, aside from the first few issues where it was in Central City. Ryan North, I get Ryan North's a fine writer, I guess that's fine, but like to me, I think especially with a movie looming on the horizon with Fantastic Four, I think we need like a really big like name to be attached to that book. Like, and I don't know if Ryan North is that name. I'm not familiar with the artist that the rumor is, but we haven't gotten the official announcement yet. That will come very soon. The idea of moving him to the West Coast, I don't know what that does for the I don't know what that does except for like pull us away, split the team. I don't know. Are we doing another one of those things where Reed and Sue needs to take some time off with the kids and Johnny and Ben are left behind? Like, what are we doing here? I don't know. But that being said, I'm not excited. If these rumors are true about the new creative team and direction on the Fantastic Four, I'm not excited, and Fantastic Four is my jam. So now let's talk about some excitement, because we always start. Now, what do y'all want to talk about? We always start with the first five. So on the first five, we're continuing to go through it just told me insert an ad. It would be a good time to insert an ad right now. I'm like, what? We were like 5 minutes into the show. Anyway, so we're going through the Blu-ray collection. We are now in the tease. So there is my Blu-ray copy of Taxi Driver. I've got this cool, I think it's like a special series of steel books that were like part of the Project Pop Art. Yeah, that's what it is. Project Pop Art. Pop culture focused art gallery in the world. 10 years on Melrose Avenue. Anyway, okay, so I guess this is from that gallery, but I love this steelbook. So Taxi Driver right there. I am a Scorsese fan. Then we got Teen Wolf with the slip. Look at that. Bam. Got that original cover reversed right there. Teen Wolf from Scream Factory. I love this fucking movie. It's one of my favorite movies growing up. Then we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is my collection. It's done in like it looks like a greasy pizza box, right? But it's the first four Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. So it's obviously 1, 2, 3, and then the TMNT animated movie, and the discs are like pizzas, and then there's a pizza menu in there for the features, so that's really cool. And then underneath here, there's like art, and well, hold on, I'll show you the whole thing. So there's like all the discs. Each disc looks like some pizza, so that's cool. They're all different pizzas. We got this thing. So this was this is not in fact a menu. It's an envelope. The envelope held these pieces of art. So that was cool, seeing some original Turtles art. I mean, it looks like it's autographed, but it's surely not autographed by somebody for real. It's got to be a print, but I don't know who that is because it doesn't really look like Kevin Eastman, does it? Well, I can't tell. Anyway, then we got these character cards. Because is that April from Part 3? I think she's the cutest April, to be honest with you. Casey Jones. The Turtles. Yep, there you go. I already showed that one. My dude, Michelangelo. We are going to be covering all of these Turtle movies at the finale of Action Fest this year. So that's really cool. All right, so there you go. So that's what's in there. And there's a reprint of a tiny digest-sized reprint of the Mirage Studios adaptation of the movie. And that's really freaking cool. Because this is like a $20 comic, so to have like a little small one, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a cool, well-thought-out set, right? And it's a pizza box. It's a pizza box. I see Fable in the place, and Tuga and Pedro, what is up? Station. And I see Nick, what is up, bruh? Nick, did you see the announcement for Friday? In case Nick didn't see it yet. The monthly review, actually the 2 monthly review, will be Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. It'll be me, Damien from Sleepy Reader 666, Nick from Comic Culture, and Chris from Chaos and Comics. Very excited. I've been trying to get Damien and Chris lined up for this show for several months, so I'm excited to actually have it happen. Next up, we got Tenebrae. This is a Dario Argento film. I love this film. It's got a Goblin soundtrack. This is one of my favorite Argento films from the 80s. I just think Argento's highest points, the 70s and 80s, obviously. The 70s got some really good stuff. Deep Red. We're going to be talking, I mean, we've already talked about that before, but we're going to be covering Deep Red on Horror Fest. I'm so pumped for Horror Fest. Anyway, moving on. And then there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's my copy I have. It's Steelbook 1. It's not the 2-disc one. That was more expensive, but I don't mind it. It came with some dents in it, as you can see there, but I don't mind. But anyway, continuing through the Blu-ray collection, this has been your First Five. All right, so anyway, and here we are. Let me look up at the chat, see what everybody wanted to talk about. I was kind of bemoaning my disappointment, lamenting, if you will, my thoughts on the rumors of the new Fantastic Four team of Ryan North, and I'm not familiar with the artist. I think it's Matthew Southward or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure the promos it's kind of clever. I saw Perch and I saw Bleeding Uncool. I didn't even try to do that. Like Bleeding Cool. I saw Perch and Bleeding Cool talk about the same thing, that it was rumored that it's Ryan North and this person who's named something South something. And that they're moving him to the West Coast, and that's the whole All right, let's see what's going on here. What am I drinking tonight? Same thing I usually drink nowadays is AOK IPA. This is from what is the name of this fucking company? The Avondale Brewing Company in Birmingham, Alabama. Friend of the show, Sam Fett, who big friend of the show. I've met him in person. Super cool dude. He's gifted me some things. He's just always awesome. He's there for support. I got him onto some of this beer, and he messaged me one day. He was like, "Bruh, this is some good beer. So if you get this, if this is available to you, you should check it out. It's really good. It's really good." But Monkey Knot used to be my go-to. Now this is. The prices are going up. Sucks. Anyway, thank you, 62. You're in my area, 62, right? You should be able to get A-OK. Dun 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 dun. All right. Let's see. That was when Fable jumped in, got everybody distracted. Somebody's talking about Summertown. That's cool. CTA Frank's up in here. Tyler is in the house. Is it going to be a comedy book with a writer like Ryan North? I think he's funny as fuck, though. Okay. Granted, it could be cool. It could be like, I'm not saying that I think it's going to suck. I am really not familiar with Ryan North's work. So did he do The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl? I didn't read that. I didn't read that. I mean, so I don't have any opinion on Ryan North's work. If it could be funny, I mean, as always, I'm going to read it with no. I'm going to have expectation of liking it because it's a Fantastic Four book. But I want to read it with like an open mind and try to like see what. And I'm not familiar with this rumored artist, so I'm not saying that it's going to suck. I'm saying that the announcement or the rumor of what is behind this cryptic announcement didn't really get me going. But Tyler, you're kind of making me feel a little bit better. Kind of get me feeling a little bit better. Patrick's Garage 94 is pretty pumped for the new Black Panther movie. We're definitely going to be talking about that in a little bit when I do the Marvel thing, but I have mixed feelings. I have very conflicted feelings on this Black Panther movie because I'll just go ahead and let you know. I fucking loved the trailer. But I really don't necessarily like, I mean, the elephant in the room. I don't like the idea that they're killing off T'Challa. Like, that he's dying. And so this is like post-death of T'Challa. I don't like that. But the trailer got me going. It really did. We'll talk about it more in full. Eddie says, just rewatch the Black Panther trailer because wife is confused why there are water people now. I mean, you know what's crazy is that if you don't know shit about like the Atlanteans or Namor, and you watch that trailer, you'd be like, what's going on? Some people coming? They underwater? Like, what's going on? But to me, I'm getting really fucking pumped. Fucking Namor and the Atlanteans, I think look pretty fucking dope, to be honest with y'all. And I love the idea that they have taken the Atlantean idea And I know a lot of people are like, oh, so they were expecting maybe Namor would be like Pacific Islander, but they're going Mesoamerican. Is that the correct? I don't know what the fuck. They're going like Mexican, like Mayan, Aztec, something like that. I think it's Mayan influence or something. And I love it because one of the ideas, especially proposed by Graham Hancock, and we're not putting on the shades just quite yet, but if we're going along with like some theories, including some other ones by Graham Hancock, it's like that maybe the new world, before we knew about it, maybe that was the basis of some of the European legends of Atlantis, or the basis of some of the more ancient roots of the legend of Atlantis. Maybe in the time of ancient man, there was knowledge and communication between the two hemispheres, right? Something like that, right? So I'm kind of on board with that. But I thought it looked really freaking cool. Yeah, Hickman come back to do something. It was like a really, I intended on putting it at the end of the San Diego thing. I don't know if I did. Anyway, but there's some kind of cryptic message. I can't even remember what it says. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Hickman, Marvel 20, or I will just go SDCC. That's what we'll do. By the way, anybody that was at SDCC, let us know your experience there in the comments if you're watching this on the replay or live if you're here. Da-dum-ba-dum. So it's just a quote, and it says, "What happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things?" Whatever the hell that means. Some people are speculating. The only thing I've heard speculated so far might be Miracle Man. I've heard something involving Eternals, but I think they're spending their Eternals gambit with this current event, so I don't know. We got Bobby De La Ghetto in the house. Eddie says, best comic community, hands up and down. Hell yeah. PCP Army is like nobody else because it's all part of the larger community from comic books on YouTube, don't you know? I'm already singing tonight. This is great. Feel a lot of energy. I had a peach-flavored Monster energy drink beforehand. I remembered, I was like, I used to always drink energy drinks beforehand. I don't know if I should have done that, but, that's what we're doing. 62 Lefty Blue says, we have 3 local beer makers hogging the shelves in Memphis. Okay, I can feel you. I can feel you. We'll see you at the expo then, right? Hell yeah. Oh, thank you, Billy. Thank you. Haven't been hitting the deadlifts, but I've been hitting the red spliffs. I have no idea what the fuck I was trying to go with there. I don't know what was going on. Just some rando says Avatar 2, Aquaman, Wakanda Forever, back to back to back. Gonna confuse some people. Yeah, a lot of water people going on. Aztec water people are pissed for some reason. Hell yeah. It does have some Avatar feelings, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good one, just some rando. Trad Moore on Strange. That's right. There's a Doctor Strange miniseries written and illustrated by Trad Moore. I'm a big fan of Trad Moore. This looks cool. It looks like long-haired Doctor Strange, so it almost looks like it's going to be one of those throwback kind of like, I don't know if you want to call them a retro, but like the way they've been doing like New Fantastic Four lately, or Wolverine Patch, or the new Captain Marvel where it's throwing back to the Peter David stuff. Or they've done plenty of these X-Men Legends, Gambit with the upcoming Chris Claremont one. They also announced Extreme X-Men Squared by Claremont and Salvador Larroca, and that will continue directly from the last issue of Extreme X-Men from back in the aughts. So, some pretty cool ones. My favorite comic book news of San Diego, though, was Spawn Batman. Batman Spawn by McFarlane and Capullo. I just hope and pray we actually are going to get McFarlane inking Capullo, but I think that's probably not going to happen, but I would love it if that happened. December, is this a mini-series? Is it a one-shot? Previously, they've all just kind of done one-shots, but I bet this one's going to be a series that will lead to a graphic novel, because they want a graphic novel to be in shelves. They do a deluxe edition that has both of the previous Batman Spawn Batman, and then with the new one. I think it's going to be a mini-series, so I just would hope that McFarlane inks Capullo, because McFarlane inking Capullo was some of my favorite Spawn art, period. Those first like 100 issues of Spawn were super solid and fun, to be honest with you. They're not the best comics of all time, but they are fun and they are sick. And Capullo and McFarlane working together is a big part. I have my doubts that McFarlane will actually do a full series inking. It'll probably be Glapian, I'm sure, but I know we'll get some McFarlane covers. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for that one. Trad Moore on Doctor Strange and McFarlane and Capullo on a Batman Spawn. I just hope that Batman, drawn by Capullo, has the more restricted cape that Capullo developed in New 52, where he had to restrain himself with the cape, but Spawn still has this crazy. Will they both have crazy capes? I would love the dichotomy of the Spawn crazy cape and a more restrained Batman cape. So, come December, I'll definitely be trying to criticize this book for the capes. Going down through the comments again. Which magazine is better, Scream Queens or Femme Fatales? I've looked through some Femme Fatales, but I don't have any. This is the only issue of Scream Queens I have. It's issue number 2. But I really like this one, I'll tell you that, flipping through it. So now I think I want to start a collection. So if anybody knows any ways to get some Scream Queens, y'all just let me know. I'm looking for issue number 1 in particular. In particular before October, where I meet Linnea again, because I got a poster for her to sign, but I'd love to get her to sign issue number 1, which she's on the cover, so that would be cool. So right now, I would say Scream Queens, but it's because it's more like a dirty magazine. I mean, hey, I don't know, man. I like them all. I have more wizards. I don't know what that says about me, but nah, this one was actually a gift from a customer. It's Scream Queens Illustrated, Scream Queens Illustrated, issue number 2. Hey, we got Brian in the house. Station. Fable says, Black Panther 2 trailer got me in the feels. Great song choices. Yeah, as soon as they start playing No Woman, No Crime, like, T'Challa's dead. God damn it. Don't remind Rob about Hickman. He's still hurting. Nah, I'm cool. I don't like the X-Men books at all, but I don't blame Hickman. I blame Fable. Hey, we got Scarpad in the house. What is up? We got William in the house. McFarlane will do a cover. It's a one-shot. Did they announce that it's a one-shot? That's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. But here's the thing. They can take all 3 Spawn Batman one-shots now and make a graphic novel. Heck yeah, that Doctor Strange looks so dope. Hell yeah, it does, Brian. And yeah, welcome, Scarpad. Scarpad's been joining us on Dylan's Horror Show for the last few weeks. Great show last night, homie. Talking about the Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy. Hey, we have Black Box Comics in the house. Station, Black Box, what is up? How are y'all doing? Thank you for being here. Two Gun Pedro says, can't keep my eyes off that Scream Queen Illustrated magazine behind you, Robbie. Well, thank you. This is my Dylan's Horror Show setup, and I just left it up. So, got the Power of Grayskull tonight. Well, this is Snake Mountain. Grayskull's back there, but I do have Castle Grayskull. Did y'all see that Eternia set? Like, obviously, I think a vintage Eternia set is way out of my price range, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, what's the price going to be on this fucking new one? It's probably going to be comparable to getting a vintage one. Which one should I get? Should I get it at all? Of course I want an Eternia set, new or old. Where the fuck would I put it? I don't have a shelf big enough for that. I don't have a table available to put it on. I would just have to permanently put it behind me and have it in display right smack dab in the middle of this room and have to dismantle it every time I did the fucking weekly comic book review. That would suck. Unless I just made this the live streaming room. But then if I wanted to do other things, I would have to fucking take it apart every time I wanted to say, I don't know, go through the comic book collection, shit like that. So I'm kind of confused about what to do there. I would love to get an Eternia set, though. Trust me, every Motu fan wants one. Afro X is in the house. Station, legendary station, my friend. I have to get the McFarlane cover. There is a chance that McFarlane could be wily enough to get me to have to buy so many copies of like a $10 fucking one-shot depending on who does the fucking covers. Studs Ramrod says, Batman Spawn, yes! I was so fucking excited when I heard that news, man. I follow Todd on Instagram, and apparently I was seeing a lot of them, and like, I don't know what it was, but the algorithm in Instagram totally marked me as a Todd mark, which I am right now. And I saw every fucking thing he was posting, and then I saw him like, big announcement. I was like, what's a big announcement? There's another Spawn book? You know what I'm saying? And no, that was a big fucking announcement. I was like, wait, Todd's supposed to be at the DC panel? What the fuck's going on? And so that was wild and fun, and I watched it live on Instagram. I was really, really excited for that. 69 people in the chat, nice. It's just going to be a Spawn and Batman one-shot of them doing the tortilla challenge, smacking each other with games. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know what a tortilla challenge is. That could be... I don't know what that means, but it sounds nasty. I'll be honest with you. Every time Holshoe is in the house, says, I just got here and I hear Dirty Magazine. Yeah, the Scream Queens Illustrated. This is issue number 2. This was given to me a few weeks ago, John, and it's awesome. It's like a Dirty Magazine, but with people that are in horror films. And this is issue number 2, and issue number 1's Linnea Quigley, so I got to find that. She doesn't want to sign your stained poster. She's not stained. Still rolled up. Now, when it gets in the frame, who knows what stains may be upon it. It can get crazy and Cassidy love Robbie. What the fuck does that even say? I'm just fuck. Rewind. None of that happened. All right, moving on. Oh, yeah, Nick, you're right. The Memphis Con guest list is stacked. It's so freaking good. I was talking to my homie who puts together the Huntsville Expo, who knows that guy, who 62 knows as well. He does get a ton of creators, and he's thinking about, hey, should I add more? And my buddy Jeremy was trying to give some reason to him, he said. I don't care if the ancestry of the Atlanteans have changed, but I wish Namor would drop that porn stash. You know, I think if any Marvel character really would earn and totally rock a porn stash, it would probably be Namor. Does he got a stash in it? Because I know he's got like the nose ring or whatever. Does he have a stash? We'll have to look later. Joram is in the house. What is up? Eric says, Hickman's new book is supposed to be the Sandman of Marvel. Is thinking it'll be Sleepwalker 2 on the nose? Nah, bruh. Because that was originally how they teased Sleepwalker. They're like, this is Sandman done right. We'll see. You should never say shit like this is Sandman for Marvel. You should never say shit like that. It's doomed. You know I'd rather have beside this? How about decorum? More decorum. That'd be cool. Yeah, that Eternia set is... Ooh. I need that Alpha Trion and the Orion Pax set now, says Fable. You know, I'm pretty good. I'm at the end, I think. After tonight's show and tell, I think I'm at the end of the Transformers journey for me. There's a few more pieces I would love to get, a Ramjet, a Dirge, an Ironhide, and a Prowl. But aside from those, I think after tonight's reveal for show and tell, I think I'm fucking done, Fable. I think I'm done. It's all going to be about dope fucking comics now and less about Transformer toys. I'll tell you that. Plus, there's some cool NECA figures coming. Horror. And that Eternia set. You know, you gotta go. Time to get a bigger Batcave. Shit. I can just come up with better ways. I just need more shelves. I have a plan, actually. I plan on buying like 4 bookshelves and lining an entire wall in the bedroom and just having nothing but books on that wall. I've always wanted an entire wall full of books. I think I'm going to do that. Did you see the Avatar Dragon toys? I'm definitely picking those up. I did not see those. That would be cool. Trad Moore should do a Spawn one-shot. Yes. Absolutely. Are they getting the whole building this year? Brian, I think they are getting the whole building. I think when we went last time and they were doing that gun and knife show or whatever, I think they have that too. What's in the pipe? This is just It's Cascade is what I vape now. It's like banana, apple, strawberry or some shit. Yeah, Barrington's there. I want to bring my Omni. I'm going to bring at least my Omni number 1 because the second one's really fucking heavy. I want to bring both, but hopefully I can get a cool signature in there for the Nocturnals. Hell yeah. So far, the cover artists are McFarlane, Capullo, and Jim Lee. Depends on the Jim Lee one. You don't see much Jim Lee Spawn anymore, though. Alabama Pancake Special. Jesus. Joram says, Lil Red Ronin, don't sleep on Source Point Press. Yeah, I heard that one was good, actually. Sandman trailer looks crazy. Haven't seen the new Sandman trailer, actually. I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. I forgot to. Taki says that Sue thinks Namor Stashes is hot. Yeah, there you go. Decorum is a simple story, told in a complicated way. You know, I did see McFarlane say that McFarlane Dragons were back because, you know, he had a line of dragon figures for a while. I thought that's what they were talking about. I didn't realize they were tied in with Avatar. That's neat. Did you read either of the previous Batman Spawn team-ups? Yes, both. I have both. War Devil, which was Klaus Janson on the artwork, and the Batman. I think every Batman writer at the time was on that. And then, of course, the original with Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane. I had to understand why Spawn all of a sudden had fucking shoelaces tying his face together. But I didn't read it at the time. I read it way later. Way later. Joram says, I want to thank Rockin Robbie. Red Power Bomb. That hits by the Darren Warren Johnson. Yes, a Do a Power Bomb is awesome. When I was in line, actually when Nick Dragata was doing a remark for me in my East to West hardcover, Philip Kennedy Johnson was right next to us, and a fan of the show, I do not remember his name, was there, and he was talking to him, and he was talking to Daniel Warren Johnson about how awesome Do a Powerbomb was and how he found out about it on my show and that it was the pick of the week. And he's like, and trust me, being the pick of the week, being Robbie's pick of the week is a big deal. So congratulations. And it was cool. It was a cool interaction. He's a super cool dude. Then I walked over there and did I say Philip Kennedy Johnson? I meant Daniel Warren Johnson. Don't mess me up. Anyway, Daniel Warren Johnson. Do a power bomb. Anyway, so that was a cool interaction. He's a super cool dude. That's when I bought Old Man Skywalker, which Brian had told me about. Memphis Con looks like a great time to start an artist sketchbook. If you can get, you might be able to get some of them to do remarks. Yeah, back in the day, you used to be able to get anybody to do sketches. I used to have a sketchbook. I don't know where the fuck that thing went, but I had a sketchbook with like Phil Noto doing Elektra. I had Carlos Esquerra do Just a Pilgrim. I would love to get that back. I had Chuck Dixon did a Joker for me, actually. Do a Powerbomb and Crimson Cage crossover. That'd be funny. Bandit says, Old Man Skywalker is something only DWJ sells. I've seen some on eBay, but nowhere else. Yes, it's only something that you can get on the secondary market or directly from him at a con. He actually does not sell them. I think there's a legal reason, but he gives them to you, and then most people just give him a tip. There, Brian, right there. DWJ doesn't sell them. He asks for donations. So, yeah, it's something he just gives away if you see him at a con. I'm curious, what do they sell for in the secondary market? Probably too much. Probably like $20 maybe. I wouldn't pay more than 20 for it. But if you just go to a con where he's there, he's going to have some. He's got other things that he does too. But it's an outlaw comic by the true sense of the word. Like, it's an unlicensed Star Wars comic, so he can't sell them. Would love to see an overview of Old Man Skywalker. You think I should do a You think I should kayfabe it up and do a cartoonist kayfabe type video on it? That would be fun, wouldn't it? It was 100 or so a couple of years ago. Jesus Christ. That is wild. Seen them for 25 to 200. Holy cow. Do I ever talk about comic book based movies or shows? Yeah. Yes, we do. Kayfabe it. All right. I would love to do. Damien did this one time. I need to figure out. I don't know if I have enough fucking USB cables to do it, but I would love to have like another camera, like focused down and a little light, and like do it live. Like when I do like a Marvel in the 90s or Image in the 90s or something, actually like be flipping through it. But the problem is, before cartoonist kayfabe, this was a common thing you would see. People flipping through reviews of books, right? Like looking down. And now that kayfabe does that pretty much exclusively, other people still do it. But I mean, like almost all of their videos are like that. Like, I feel like doing it now would just be like ripping off kayfabe, and I don't want to do that. It's in the $180 to $200 range now. Holy shit! What's up, Wu-Tang? How you doing? Brian says, got to head out for a bit. Hope I can get back on later. See ya, buddy. See ya. And Taki with the super chat. First super chat of the night. Thank you so much. He says, Old Man Skywalker overview. Let's do it. You guys wouldn't be mad if I have to. I would feel like I was ripping off kayfabe, but it might be worth it. It might be worth it. 100%. Thank you for the super chat, Taki. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 into the fold. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at your door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up, cause you know we about to fuck shit up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. It ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Too low out G, so it crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fade this. But back to the lecture at hand. Perfectionist, perfect this, I'ma let them understand from a young G's perspective. And before me dig it a bit, you have to find a contraceptive. You never know, she could be earning a man and learning a man, and at the same time burning a man. Now you know I ain't just chill for a minute. Ain't no pussy good enough to get burned while I'm up in it. And that's realer than real deal, Holyfield. And now your hookers and hoes know how I feel. Well, if it's good enough to take off a proper chunk or grab a small piece of some of that funky stuff. It's like this and like that and like this, Anna. It's like that and like this and like that, Anna. It's like this and like that and like this, and Drake creep to the mic like a phantom. Thank you so much, Taki, for the super chat there. We really do appreciate it. All right. We've been rambling on for a while, because you know that's what we do. We ramble on. Yeah. I saw that John Cole had popped up in here. John Cole, one of our co-hosts on the Dynamite Show that I do every Monday evening at 5 p.m. Central Time over at The Experience. There is a link in the description below. You saw the promo by Amy earlier on. They got a giveaway. We always have giveaways. It's always a great show. Rom V on Detective Comics. Are you guys excited? I tell you what, I am excited 100%. We'll be talking about it on the DC Sneak Peek. Rockin Robbie dropping Chronic versus someone called Damage Control. Man, Damage Control ain't got shit on me. Did Doctor Strange 2 accurately depict Scarlet Witch's powers? Could she have done more? Is not really. Her powers are weird. It starts off where she can like alter probability. And then it gets explained to a point where it's like chaos magic. They're going in that route. So it's what they did in Doctor Strange is more in line with the comics than what they had done with that character before. I will say that. But it's not quite spot on, but it's decent. That's what he said. John Cole said, this show is way better than Monday's show on The Experience. Nah, I love doing that Monday show. I love hanging out with you and Rex, and I love talking about spam and food. John Cole is like a food connoisseur. Like, he's like a master class in food, following his Instagram or Twitter, y'all check him out. Check him out. Good stuff. Oh yeah, I got some problems. I got some problems on some of the Eisner winners. Anyway, it's time to go back. How far back to last week and talk about our favorite comic book of last week. In fact, what was your pick of the week? Because my pick of the week was Ice Cream Man, issue number 31, which just might be one of the best issues of Ice Cream Man yet. Ice Cream Man is an anthology series. You don't need to read anything before you read this one. You go to your shop, you pick this up, you read it. You don't need anything that came before or anything that's going to come after. Each issue is truly self-contained. Now, there is an ongoing thread, but for most issues, that's not even referenced except for maybe in just a couple of like sly references. Like this has a reference to haha, has references to other issues, things like that. And of course, Rick, the Ice Cream Man, does appear in here, but in a very subtle cameo. You don't need any of the baggage to understand or appreciate an issue of Ice Cream Man. This book is called A Scale, and what it is written by W. Maxwell Prince. Artwork by Martin Marazzo, coloring by Chris O'Halloran, lettering by good old Neon. So the first half of this book is a dude talking about his life from the moment his daughter is born until when she becomes like a grown woman. And the artwork is always amazing. Martin Marazzo has this deceptively simple kind of artwork. It has room to breathe, but it does carry the emotion necessary in this book that at times also is very heavily relying on its ability to be quirky and offbeat. Then you have those sickly sweet colors by Chris O'Halloran. The lettering is absolutely top-notch. Good old Neon. I don't know if that's... all I ever see good old Neon credited with is lettering this, so I don't know who that person is, but this book is lettered exceptionally well. And it's all done in like this, almost like a poem going across. And then when you hit the middle of the book, as the dad has gotten older, and now the daughter has become her own, like an adult, it shifts the focus to her. And it's showing the weight and the tip of the balance of the scales. One life gets filled up and drops, and then another one goes up to the top, you see? And here is the moment of the switch. So that's the last moment of his narration, and then it goes into her narration, and then it goes into now her life, and it does end with, spoilers, the death of her father, and it is one of the sweetest and saddest issues of Ice Cream Man yet. I said this on the weekly comic book review, and I mean this 100%. I've been saying this a long time. Ice Cream Man is a book that is no longer about the concept of the book. What the book is about the human experience, the human condition. It is sad, and it's scary, and it's hopeful, but it's also filled with despair and danger and surreal weirdness. But it's also just filled with life, happiness, hope, and meaning, and meaninglessness. And it's all captured here in the pages of Ice Cream Man, each and every issue a perfectly distilled encapsulation of the human condition. So by far, it was a solid week last week, but by far, Ice Cream Man just takes the cake. This is just one of the best comics, period. We had Dennis Camp on the channel on Thursday night. If you haven't checked out the conversation, I encourage you to do so. He is friends with W. Maxwell Prince. He gets to see some of the stuff that's coming up. He always likes to weird stretch on me like, bruh, you don't even know what's coming up in Ice Cream Man. But this book is always innovative and experimental. It's structurally incredibly well done. There's a whole issue that's a palindrome where you can go backwards or forwards in any way and read it. Absolutely fantastic, innovative stuff. But even at its core, it just reaches to the heart of the human condition. It is one of the most relatable comics because it is about our dreams and our nightmares and how our world is made up of both. That was my favorite comic book of last week. What did you think of Ice Cream Man 31? And what did you think about the other books? What was your pick of the week? So we're going to look at the chat and see what's going on here. Jorm says, John and Rex on the Experience. Good time. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Billy wants to congrat me for 100 years on YouTube. We're getting there. BG says, Ice Cream Man! Joe Slag says, Alien Annual and Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Taki says, Good Asian is good, but it wasn't Layla Starr. That's my biggest grievance. That is my biggest grievance with the Eisners, was that Mini Deaths of Layla Starr lost to Good Asian. I agree, Taki. Good Asian is good, but it wasn't Layla Starr. Just some rando. One from Stranger Things would be the perfect Ice Cream Man. Oh, yeah, actually, absolutely, 100%. William says, my pick of the week was nothing since all my money is saved up from New York Comic Con. Hell yeah, I hope you have fun. The Full Clip says, I tried, just not feeling Ice Cream Man. Fair enough. It's not going to be to everybody, 100%. Eddie says, still need to read Ice Cream Man and do a power bomb, but I assume one of those is my pick of the week. I've never pronounced haha like that, but I think I will from now on. How did you pronounce haha? Haha. That's how it comes. I mean, I think Jen from Comics Will Break Your Heart was like, it's haha. I have to wait to payday to pick up last week's books. Well, hell yeah, Fargate. Thank you for popping in. JT says, Ice Cream Man is my favorite indie. Billy says, everything Robbie says is in code. Dope scale. Nick says, Ice Cream Man smash the feels button like you should do with the like button. Oh, I like that. I appreciate that. The Full Clip says, kind of boring and too abstract. Give me a meaning, man. All right. I feel you. Fable says, Ice Cream Man will be one of Image's best when everything is said and done. Eddie says, Ice Cream Man is a masterclass comics. Can't wait for my Sunday edition to come in the pool. Yeah, me too. Me too. Nick says, top 5 were Do a Powerbomb, Ice Cream Man, World's Finest, Dark Spaces Wildfire, and Rogues Gallery. Hell yeah. What's up, Bakari? How are you doing? Taki says, Ice Cream Man 31, a masterpiece. I'm going to highlight Miles Morales and Bunny Mask, but it's time to finish the arc or story. How did Echolands not get nominated for any Eisners? I think it would be nominated next year. These Eisners for like 2021. And I think Echolands mostly was... No, it was last year too. I don't know. It may not have fallen into that. It may be nominated this next go-around. Moni says, Batman the Knight was surprisingly good. Eric says, Do a Powerbomb was great again. Yes, it was. 100%. That was a fantastic book. Mike says he's found Orange Pineapple Fago. I didn't know that we had missed it. Jorm says, pick of the week was Black Adam. I'll spotlight Teth Adam with Christopher Priest and Rafa Sandoval as a creative team. Compelling work. All right. Herm says, haha, the best. Okay. We'll have to see what that is. All right. Now it's time to look ahead at what's coming up in shops this week. We got Detective Comics 1062. That's the first issue by Rom V. Amazing Spider-Man number 6. Action Comics 1045. Venom number 9. Robin 16. Something is Killing the Children 25. Strange number 4. Batman One Dark Knight number 3. Star Wars Obi-Wan number 3. The Swamp Thing number 15. The penultimate issue from Rom V. Mike Perkins, Mike Spicer, and Aditya Bidikar. House of Slaughter number 7. Gambit number 1. Harley Quinn 17, Radiant Black 16, Task Force Z number 10, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 131, Deadly Class 54, Ant-Man number 1 from Al Ewing, Star Wars Dr. Aphra 22, Captain America Symbol of Truth number 3, Deathstroke Incorporated number 11, The Scorched number 8, Wolverine Patch number 4, The Variants number 2, Sandman Universe Nightmare Country number 4, We Only Find Them When They're Dead number 12, Batman Fortress 3, Radiant Red 5, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance 10, Rogue Sun 6, Iron Cat 2, Aquaman number 6, Public Domain number 2, Superman Space Age number 1, Image number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 51, I Hate This Place number 3, Gainus Vel, Captain Marvel number 1, DC Mech number 1, Young Justice Targets number 1, Nottingham number 9, Hit Me number 5, All New Firefly 6, Red Sonja 11, Wild Cards, The Drawing of Cards number 1, Sins of the Black Flamingo number 2, Beware the Eye of Odin number 2, fantastic book, Vampire Slayer number 4, Magic Order 3 number 1, Hellcop number 9, The Hallows, number 1. Magic, the Hidden Planeswalker, 4. Good Boy, number 9. Pentagram of Horror, number 3, is on the list. We'll see. Oh, yeah, we'll see. Pearl, Volume 3, number 3. Naughty List, number 4. Vampirella, Year 1, number 1. Book of Shadows, number 1. Kaiju Score, Steal from the Gods, number 4. The Collector, Unit 731, number 4. Kanto, Tales of the Unnamed World, number 2. My Little Pony, number 3. John Carter of Mars, number 4. Space Riders Vortex of Darkness, number 4. Redman, number 2. Vanity, number 2. And we'll call it there. So what are you most looking forward to? Let me know in the chat right now. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, the DC sneak peek, and we'll be talking about all that Marvel stuff in San Diego Comic-Con. And we may even have time to tackle a little bit of Youngblood. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Hey guys, I've been going through our new releases and I picked 2 incredible Vampirella Year 1 covers as giveaways for this week's shows. Monday with Robbie and Wednesday with AR Comics. But you gotta watch to see which one is gonna be featured on which day. So come check us out on the experience.
At 6 p.m. And those are Jay Lee covers and Lucho Perillo covers.
Thank you, Nick.
She was teasing you. She didn't want to say it, but I had to throw it out there.
All right.
So the best part, Amy's going to step in and let no, just Rex know which it is because she's making the call.
Okay, this is going on too long.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the show where we gather on Sunday nights and we talk about movies, comics, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We've already had a grand old time tonight talking about our favorite comic books from last week, and we looked ahead at what was coming up in shops this week. Plus, we talked a little bit about some of the San Diego news, the Batman Spawn news from Greg Capullo and Todd McFarlane being part of it. In this bit, we're going to be doing the DC sneak peek. DC Comics has comic books out this week. Believe it or not, they drop on Tuesday. I've already read them. I'm going to let you know my thoughts. We're going to be talking about the Marvel Studios news out of San Diego Comic-Con. I'm breaking down Phase 5 and 6. And then we do an Image in the 90s plus upcoming. We got some show and tell. We got Buddhist Fist movie review and top 5 movies of 2010, all that and more. But even though we have a plan, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. When we last left you before the break, I asked you, what are you most looking forward to coming up in comic shops this week? Me personally, Rom V starting on Detective Comics with Raphael Albuquerque and Mike Allred and Mark Russell and Laura Allred on Superman Space Age. I have read those. My thoughts will be coming up shortly. So let's see what everybody was saying before we went on the break. Let's see. Hey, we got Sleepy Reader 666 is in the house. That is right. Damien will be joining me, Chris from Chaos and Comics, and Nick from Comic Culture. That will be Friday. Might as well just go ahead and pull up the image there. That'll be Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be talking about the best comics of June and July. We missed out on June because that final weekend was the weekend of 4th of July. Everybody was busy. So we'll be tackling that this upcoming Friday. So welcome, Sleepy. Black Box Comics, of course, in the house. They said Ninja Kaiden #1. Oh, that's right. That's supposed to be out this week. That's cool. Absolutely. Bueller was really talking that up. Plus, it's Eric Palicki, friend of the show. So I'm excited to check that one out. Ninja Kaiden. I say Kaiden? Kaiden. Our Ariaga is most looking forward to Ron V's Detective Comics. JT's looking forward to Detective. Eric's looking forward to Detective and Swamp Thing are the big 2 picks, but Public Domain is the book I am most looking forward to. Sleepy Reader 666 says Vortex of Darkness, cool book, been a long time. You know, I haven't read any of the Space Rider stuff yet, and he was at Heroes Con, and I meant to go to his booth and probably buy the trades because I have trouble keeping them in stock at my shop, and I didn't, and I should have. So that's on me. Joram says, 10 books on the pull. I'll be looking forward to Vanity and Pentagram the most. We'll see if those come out. Scout Comics sometimes, they have a little bit. We'll have to see. Road Collecting says, just finished Murder Falcon. It was so dang good. Yeah, I love that book. Absolutely. Taki's looking forward to Iron Cat and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Go Flo is looking for, or always excited for Something is Killing the Children and all the Rom V books and Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Bobby De La Ghetto says, get that freaking like button. Or is that not cool no more? It's still cool. Hit that like button, everybody. Really helps us out. Right now, I'm reading 69 in the chat. 69 in the chat. 44 likes where I'm at currently. So, come on, y'all. When YouTube sees that like number close to the number of people that are here, allegedly it triggers some fucking fairy to like go and goose the algorithm. I don't fucking know. John K. is looking forward to Strange #4, currently reading These Savage Shores by Rom V. Fable just shared the link to the PCP Army. Thank you so much. Moni's top picks of last week were Batman the Night, Do a Powerbomb, World's Finest, Gunslinger Spawn, and Nightwing. Taki says, a masterpiece, John K. Rogue says, I've been wanting to check out These Savage Shores for a while. I hear great things. Rogue Collecting, I love These Savage Shores. You should definitely read that book. It is fantastic. It was the first Ron V book I read. I love it so much that me and Brian are actually going to be doing a Comics Revisited on it at some point when Comics Revisited returns. We're on a little hiatus right there. Hope Rom V has a unique take on Batman, but come on, he will. Of course he will. Zach is in the house. Zach just finished the Guar doc on Shudder. Excellent stuff. I've been wanting to check that out. I'm glad. Thanks for the recommendation. And Zach once again, thank you so much. Ninth Configuration, Station. Love that movie. Had more fun with that one than I did last night's Dylan's Horror Show. We talked about the Rob Zombie Firefly trilogy. Had a great show, though. Differing opinions. They were more aligned. I think we were all kind of... The only thing where I really differed from most of them was Devil's Rejects, I would say. Is the Hollows book new material, a reprint of the IDW series? I don't know. I was, because that's the Sam Keith one, right? I think that might be a reprint, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's a one-shot? So, yeah, I don't know. Do we have to follow the previous issues to get into Ron V's Detective Comics? No, not at all. Not at all, BJ. William in the House Station, enjoy your show each week. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We got Perry Comics in the House Station. Perry will be joining us tomorrow night. Let's go ahead and break down what's coming up this week. Tomorrow night, The Golden Child for Action Fest. Not really an action movie, but we're going to have a good, lively conversation about this one. That's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's going to be a little bit after my show over at the E-Experience with John and Rex from Dynamic Forces. The monthly review show returns Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be talking about 2 months, June and July, talking about our favorite comic books with Damien from Sleepy Reader 666, Nick from Comic Culture, and Chris from Chaos and Comics. And Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday night, we're going to be talking about The Night Flyer. Also, we got PCP mystery boxes now available. Only 9 available. It was actually 8 when we started this show. I have not looked to see if anybody's emailed us yet, but they are in limited quantities for this week, but they are $30. That includes shipping. They will be chock full of comic books and the original sketch from yours truly and all kinds of other fun little tidbits. Everybody who's gotten PCP mystery box knows exactly what to look forward to. If you're interested, you can email us at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com and we will send you an invoice. Tomorrow night, The Golden Child, PCP movie night. Friday night, Best Comics of the Month. Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show. Shops in Huntsville, Alabama. Zach says, Golden Child is nothing like I remember it when I was a kid. Yes. I agree. 100%. Nothing like what I thought. Fable says, Golden Child doesn't age well. Here's what happened with it, okay? So I was going to do Beverly Hills Cop, because I wanted an Eddie Murphy 80s action film. But I was like, you know what? We should just do all 3. But we're already doing 2 franchise reviews for Action Fest, so maybe next time. So then I was like, we'll do 48 Hours. And then I was like, well, but we're already doing Lethal Weapon, so that's another buddy. You know, I don't want to, maybe another time. So I was like, we'll do Golden Child. And I have not seen Golden Child since I was a child, a golden child, if you will. And I remember it being awesome and like action heavy, and it is neither of those things. Oh, thank you, Eric. Eric says, got one of the last mystery boxes. They're legit. Hop on this stuff, people. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. 62 Lefty Blue says, for manga lovers, check out Kaiju number 8 and The Breaker. Both excellent. Hell yeah. Is Marvel or DC story arcs better? They're both hit or miss. It depends. Man, Golden Child. That's going to be a fun one to talk about. And, you know, with Golden Child, we're halfway through Action Fest already. And you know what happens after Action Fest? You know what happens? It's Horror Fest time. Eddie says, is there a chance at a Robbie signature in one of those boxes? Yes, they're all going to come with a hand sketch by me that will be signed. Herm's gotten some sketches before. I think I just do random ones sometimes. So like people have gotten like Tapeworm Boy. I'll do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll do like Spider-Man or Batman or just whatever. So I plan on doing a hand sketch on each one of these. And I think I finally broken the story structure on the Tapeworm Boy strip. So work on that may actually start in the next few weeks. I don't know. Afro X wants everybody to know that One Piece chapter 1055 also comes out this week. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right. So moving on. It's time for... Gotta find the damn thing. It's time for the DC sneak peek. And first up, we've got Batman One Dark Knight, issue number 3. This is the final issue of the DC Black Label Prestige Plus format series, written and illustrated by Jock, that has been following Batman during a blackout in Gotham because of this supervillain EMP that he's got to take now from Arkham to Blackgate or something like that. So it's a cool premise. Batman having to manually drag this dude across Gotham during a blackout, and all the different gangs and all the different shit, they're all after him. All the criminal elements are after him. However, it doesn't really work for me, and it started falling apart in issue number 2, and I think narratively it doesn't wrap up very nicely in issue number 3. I guess it does wrap up nicely, but I just don't care. I wanted more of a visceral experience because Jock can deliver some really good artwork, but the art for me it was all right. I felt a lot of shortcuts made in this one artistically compared to previous Jock work, and the story just overall kind of felt generic and not ultimately very memorable. So that one didn't really work for me. Then we have Action Comics. This is issue 1045. I am digging what Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing in Action Comics, but I do feel like it's stretched a little bit too far. We do know now that in August, I believe, so very soon, this is all wrapping up, but it takes a while sometimes to get to impactful moments. This whole issue is just kind of covering the same territory that we've covered already. Like the same themes just kind of get hit over the head over and over again. So I like it, but this could have used maybe a sleeker approach. I think this could have been edited down to be even a more grand epic, because Action Comics has a lot of promise. It's got a cool concept. It's got a cool core. But overall, the execution to me is just a bit too long-winded. But I am still enjoying it overall. Batman Fortress issue number 3. I don't like this book. So Batman Fortress, the original solicitation said, right, alien invasion, Superman's gone. Okay, Superman's gone. Batman has to break into the Fortress of Solitude and use it to help him save the world. We are finally now 3 issues in just getting to that being mentioned as a possibility. There's an approach to Lex Luthor in here that is kind of cool, but at the same time kind of not. Derek Robinson's line work is really solid and fine, but there's a severe lack of backgrounds, which makes it feel... I wouldn't say that it's rushed, because the line work is very clean and precise, and I honestly think that it's Gary Whitta is the writer. This is an incredibly stale and stagnant and stiff, overly verbose comic book. It is just talking, fucking talking, and it was a drag to get through, and I don't know if Robinson's, like, cutting corners by not doing a lot of backgrounds. You know, that's just how it's always been. You do some backgrounds, you make them count, and then you can not do backgrounds and other things. This one, I think he's intentionally not using a lot of backgrounds because he's like, I got to fit all this fucking script in. So this one's not working for me whatsoever at all. Then we got DC Mech issue number 1. This is the start of a new Elseworlds type tale. And it's okay. It's not breaking any new ground, but it's decent enough. If you're into mech type shit and you want to see that version of the Justice League, there you go. So it starts off with the Justice Society, and like Darkseid shows up. Like they just won the war. They're celebrating. Then Darkseid shows up, or actually just one Parademon shows up and just wrecks through the JSA. So now for the next few generations, preparing for the coming of Darkseid, they have built this mech technology. And so the Justice League actually operate these mechs. So like Barry Allen operates a mech that has super speed and shit like that. So it's interesting, but it doesn't quite come together, but it's okay. It was okay. It's just okay. Then we got Deathstroke Incorporated, issue number 11. This is the chapter 2 of the Deathstroke year 1, and it's good. It doesn't quite... It kind of hinders and halts a little bit of the momentum from the first chapter of this. Ed Brisson is coming in as the new writer. He's understanding this character. There's some cool moments, like when Deathstroke first gets his armor, his costume. That's cool, but it does kind of get a little overly melodramatic and kind of bogs down in the weight of it sometimes, and it kind of stagnates the pace a little bit for me, but it's okay. Then we got Robin, issue number 16. This was an okay issue. I really thought this book soared during the whole Lazarus tournament. I don't think that this book has a problem finding identity post-Lazarus tournament. It's doing fine, but it's not giving me enough right now issue to issue to truly keep that momentum going. That being said, it's still pretty solid stuff. Robin, Connor Hawke, they've taken over Lazarus Island. They are trying to find Flatline. She has attacked Lord Deathman, so there's an interrogation. There's fun, bonkers, interesting kind of stuff here, but it's just not quite reaching the level that it was, but it does got a nice hook, and I'm excited to see where this book goes and how Josh Williamson and company develop it out further. Now we're getting to the creme de la creme from DC this week. We got Sandman Presents Nightmare Country, issue number 4. Amazing artwork from Lissandro Estherren. Absolutely amazing, ethereal, creepy, just really solid artwork. Nightmarish at times, but grounded, but artistically grounded, if that makes sense. James Tynion is doing a great job of incorporating a story about the Corinthian in the modern age that's perfect for new readers and perfect for people who have read The Sandman. Now, if you have read any Sandman before, or if you haven't, let's just say if you haven't, you want to know what to read. You don't have to read anything to lead into this, but it would be beneficial to read Sandman the Doll's House before you read this. You could read Preludes and Nocturnes and then read Doll's House, because Doll's House is book 2, but read that. You're totally primed for this. There's a lot of new elements in here, but a lot of familiar territory that's being gone over, especially in issue number 4. There is a direct reference to a character from the Doll's House book. That I love that series. By the way, that's probably one of my favorite stories in Sandman, and we've been going through those in Comics Revisited. We've done 3 books so far, so we have already done Doll's House. But anyway, Nightmare Country was really freaking cool. I'm liking this book a lot. Then we got The Swamp Thing, issue number 15, the penultimate issue of Ron V, Mike Perkins, Mike Spicer, and Aditya Bidikar on Swamp Thing. I've been loving this book. It's been one of the best books at DC since it started. It continues to be one of the best books at DC. The way that Ron V is using language and the way he's using these concepts. You got the Gear of Parliament, or the Parliament of Gears now, and you've got Swamp Thing stuck in the middle. He's now got infused with the power of a Green Lantern ring from the end of the last issue. So that continues on in here, but it ties right back to the family stuff. It ties right back to the thematic material of the book, and it artistically just feels absolutely so amazing. And there is some really, really great work here on the lettering. Bidikar's doing a certain moment when the Parliament of Gears speak. You get this lettering font that makes you feel like their dialogue is going like a gear. So it feels like they're like talking like this, and then they're going a little smaller, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and you feel like they're kind of getting into this like kind of rhythm, and it's a really cool approach. This book is a masterclass. It's fantastic yet again. Then we've got Rom V on Detective Comics with Raphael Albuquerque on the artwork. Dave Stewart, is that Dave Stewart on the coloring? Yes, Dave Stewart on the coloring. Look at that. Artistically, this book is gorgeous, and it is fan-frickin-tastic. This is the best issue of Detective Comics I have read in a long-ass time. It starts a new story. You don't have to read anything before. You can just jump in right here. There's a new villain introduced. There's a new faction of villains introduced. I love the way Ron V is characterizing Bruce. He kind of like keeps up with his vitals. He kind of like challenges himself, tries to beat his own records and shit from getting to one rooftop to another. I kind of like that approach. This story has a very lyrical quality to it because it is based on a tragic opera connected to the origin of Batman. It's also connected to the new plot of Batman, so it's got some layers there thematically, subtextually, but right there on the nose. It's just a really solid Batman story in the first chapter of a really interesting mystery. Plus, there's a backup story that actually is cool. It's James Gordon. It's a James Gordon backup story, and it's by Cy Spurrier and Danny on the artwork, and that was really cool. So this was awesome. But surprisingly enough, both of these Rom V books, which were both 5 ya digs worthy, both pick of the week contenders, none of them to me soared like Superman the Space Age issue number 1. This is a $10 comic, but it is 80 pages of a brilliantly constructed story and master level artwork from Mike and Laura Allred. I am a huge Allred fan. Allred's got a pop art, retro, Kirby, Ditko kind of style, but it's definitely Allred's own thing. This book is amazing. If you are a fan of like Silver Age Superman in particular, you might want to check this book out. I love it. I love the bright, vivid colors by Laura Allred. I love the lettering in this book. The lettering is done by Dave Sharp. Fan-frickin-tastic, y'all. This book was amazing. And yes, it is $10. That seems expensive. This is not $10 for some bullshit. This is 80 pages of a complete story that is chapter 1 of 3. And I think this book is bi-monthly, so it's every other month. But it's all clean, Allred artwork. There's no filler. There's nobody else. This is a Silver Age influenced book. It retells an origin of Superman, as well as an origin of the Justice League. You got Batman in there. I was surprised that Batman, Green Lantern, a few other characters are kind of sprinkled in there in this new kind of vision of a Silver Age Superman that really freaking works. I think this is one of Mark Russell's best things he's ever done. The script never felt bogged down. It never felt overly weighty or overly preachy. Sometimes Mark Russell's scripts they're very satirical, but there's an element behind it that's very message-oriented, but he's subtle about it, but at the same time, sometimes it's obvious. This one, not so much. It's like just a really well-done, delicately paced story that is very satisfying as one thing, and it really encapsulates the feel and vibe of the Silver Age, both DC Silver Age, Superman Silver Age, and just Americana. It references big events like the death and assassination of John F. Kennedy, other things like that really place it in a time and a vibe, and Mark Russell is able to do that with a historical groundedness and also this fantasticalness to it that is added in, especially aided highly by Allred's artwork. Y'all, I love this book. I do not like to recommend books that are overpriced or anything like that, but this book, if you like Silver Age stuff, if you like Mike Allred, if you like hardcore like Superman, this book is solid and by far the best book I read. And y'all, this was awesome. Both of these are pick of the week contenders. I was just blown away by this one. I'm a huge Mike Allred fan, but I was also very, very impressed with the efficiency and how fun and captivating and serious this 80-page story was, and how it was a first chapter, but a complete story in and of itself. This was absolutely fantastic. Scarpad remembers the 80-page comics for $1.25, but that was a long time ago. Definitely a new day and age. Anyway, so that's what I thought. So overall, quick version. Batman One Dark Knight, nope. Action Comics, it's okay, but it could have been sped along. Batman Fortress, nope. DC Mech, it's okay for the right type of fan. Deathstroke Incorporated, it's okay. Robin, decent. Nightmare Country, creepy, awesome, visceral when it needs to be. Swamp Thing, brilliant. Brilliant. Cannot wait for the conclusion. Going to be sad when it wraps up. Detective Comics by V and Albuquerque and Company. A really great fresh start. Batman is in a good spot right now between Batman and Detective Comics. But Superman Space Age blew me away. I was expecting to really like this book because I'm a mark for Mike Allred, but I was impressed as shit on that story. And I like Mark Russell, but that really impressed me. That ain't like One Star Squadron. That ain't like Flintstones. That is something purely Silver Age and incredibly paced. Anyway, that has been your DC sneak peek. All right. So there we are. Let me just move these over here. I was rather impressed with that Superman book. It's not going to be to everybody's taste, though. If none of that stuff sounds like it's your bag, Mike Allred, Superman, Silver Age, Retro, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, if that's not your bag, don't spend the $10. That's what I would say. Speaking of $10, Larry Station, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had a sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights those evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. BPRD! Whoa! Thanks so much, Larry, for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, everybody. That's all the support we need, just being here and supporting, but we always appreciate the extra effort with super chat or by joining us over at patreon.com/PCP or by buying a PCP mystery box. If you want one, we got some available right now. Check us out over at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. Send us an email, send you an invoice, you pay it, we ship you a mystery box. Fantastic stuff. And I still got packs of Batman and Bill and Ted cards, so they will be included as well as an original hand sketch from yours truly. Let's take a look at what everybody was saying while I was doing the DC sneak peek. As an aspiring comic writer, keep it up, Robbie, says Eddie. I'll buy your comic. Well, thank you so much. One day, hopefully, I'll have a comic. Perry says, Golden Child's fire, Eddie Murphy at his finest. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow night, won't we? I'm surprised you're still reading Batman Fortress because all your reviews seem negative. It was interesting enough for me to make it through 3 issues, but I'm done with it now. I thought Robin was ending soon. Am I off base? I think it is, but I don't know for sure. I should message Josh Williamson, friend of the show. You know when I like weird stretch like that, I'm just goofing. But at the same time, I am weird stretching. Like Dominic says, I just pulled out my copies of the Hollows 2012 IDW, 24 pages per issue. Image one shot is 96, so probably just a reprint of the earlier 4 issues. Zach says Ron V can do no wrong. Perry says $10. Someone get the Vaseline. Flies in the Vaseline we are. Sometimes it blows my mind. Keep getting stuck here all the time. Is it you? Is it me? Search for things that we can't see. Anyway. No, I do look good, though. Eddie says, I was going to get Space Age when I thought it was a one-shot, but I have to wait for the collected edition. Fair enough. Jordan says, pass, this drug habit is more than the full tank. Epidoxus says, all of Ron V's comics, I can't hear the author, I only hear the characters. I love that about his work. When you said language for Swamp Thing, I was like, right on. Perry asked Scarpad how much gas was back then, or did y'all just use Flintstone feet method? Hey, Evil Face Bad's in the house. Perry's like, if you don't have good taste, then don't spend the $10. That's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. William says, picking up Superman Space Age based on that recommendation, that and Detective. It's one of the best Superman comics I've read in a long time, too. I'll be honest. Babel says, damn it, adds all read book to the cart. Blame Robbie. Okay. You can blame me. No, I have not read Death Dealer issue 3. I got them. I'll be showing them off in show and tell, but I will definitely read them. Am I looking forward to Batman 900? I said Batman, but I meant Spider-Man. Spider-Man 900? No. Maybe. We'll see. Do you think Alfred will return to Batman continuity? Yes, I do, Scarpad. I do. Eventually. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Well, I'm creeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but a damn nigga cap, cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You never been on a ride like this before. With a producer who can rap and control the maestro at the same time with the dope rhyme that I kick. You know and I know I post some more gangster shit to add to my collection. This selection symbolizes dope. Take a toke but don't choke. If you do, you have no clue what me and my homie Snoop Dogg came to do. It's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and it's like oh. Thank you so much, Scarpad. But yes, I do think Alfred will eventually return to continuity. Because remember, seasons don't fear the Reaper. Bueller's in the house. Bueller! Station Bueller! Hello, Robbie. Great pick of the week. Such a great issue. Ice Cream Man number 31. Yes, absolutely was a great issue, bruh. And it did make the pick of the week. Much to your delight. So, that book's just been amazing, bruh. Just absolutely fucking amazing. It's like, for instance, if we ever did a comics revisited on Ice Cream Man, the only way to do it is issue by issue. You can't do it just as a whole. Jesus. Every issue is fantastic. Bueller comes in, distracts everybody. It's okay. We're used to it. All right. It's time to talk about San Diego Comic-Con Marvel Studios announcements. Let's get to it. First of all, Kevin Feige comes out. I don't think they've done this since 2019. That was the one where they announced Mahershala Ali as Blade, and that was a big deal. They announced Jane Foster as Thor, played by Natalie Portman. We've gotten that. We've gone through season 4, or phase 4, I should say, and we got the full lineup for phase 5 and a partial lineup, so a tease to phase 6. So we've got announcements that take us all the way through 2025, and nothing makes me like fill with existential dread than when we get these long-ass announcements and I realize how old I will be when some of these things I'm looking forward to actually come out. But let's get into it. First up, we got the end of Phase 4. It's going to end with She-Hulk, first of all, and Black Panther. So they showed a new She-Hulk trailer. I'm going to have to take my thoughts on the CG out of my overall thoughts mostly. The CG at times seems like it could work for me. At other times, it seems rather wonky, but as far as the approach they're taking with the story, a little comedic, we're showing them breaking the fourth wall. I really do like that. I think that's kind of cool. And at the end, you get a tease of Daredevil showing up, and he's in the yellow and red, which is weird. But She-Hulk, I think it looks fine. We'll definitely be doing one of those shows that we did, like for Miss Marvel. We'll be doing that for She-Hulk. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's got the John Byrne vibes, a little bit of the Dan Slott vibes, a little Charles Soule vibes. The CG, we're just going to have to see. But, of course, lots of Daredevil hype coming up lately. Then we got the Wakanda Forever trailer. This releases November 11th. We saw the poster for it, and it has been confirmed pretty much that T'Challa in the MCU has died. And so this book is picking up. I think we see brief mentions or show. I think we see footage of his funeral, right? And so this will probably be dealing with somebody else picking up the mantle, most likely Shuri, but it could be anybody. Okoye could be a potential candidate, but it seems like they're following the path of the comics. It's going to be Shuri, but it's got a lot of Atlantean stuff, including Namor, and I'm all for it. I know earlier some people didn't like the Mayan Aztec approach, and yes, here we are double checking. He does have a mustache, but I like the look. I liked the trailer a lot. I mentioned that I was a little bit conflicted about this because I think they should recast T'Challa. I think T'Challa Black Panther is too important of a character to just let a sad turn of events like Chadwick Boseman, us losing him, change things. But we do get the brief glimpse of, we do get a new Black Panther in this film. I think it's going to be Shuri. We shall see. That trailer's got me more hyped for it. Then we got Secret Invasion. Actually, before Secret Invasion, well, I guess I didn't put it on here. The Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that will be in February of 2023 on the 17th, I believe. Secret Invasion comes in spring of 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will drop May 5th, 2023. It will include, I can't remember the actor's name, but the dude who's like the head of the group and Peacemaker is playing the High Evolutionary. He actually showed up. So that was interesting. Then we got Echo is releasing summer of 2023. The thing that excites me the most about this is that we do get Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. Loki Season 2 is also summer of 2023. Man, that's a long time. Long wait, right? The Marvels releases July 28th, 2023. After the end of Miss Marvel, I'm actually rather excited for this film. Then we got Blade. Very excited for this one. This is going to be November 3rd, 2023. So we're like a year and a half away from Blade. It's going to be a movie. Ironheart, who you see in the Wakanda Forever trailer, will get her own series on Disney+. That's going to be in fall of 2023. And then in winter of 2023, leading into 2024, we get the Agatha Harkness series, Agatha Coven of Chaos. And then Daredevil Born Again, 18 episodes starting in spring of 2024. Damned excited for this one. Then we got Captain America New World Order. This is a new Captain America movie featuring Sam Wilson as Captain America. This is going to release May 3rd, 2024. And then Phase 5 officially ends with Thunderbolts, and that will be on July 26th, 2024. But then we got a little bit of tease for Phase 6. We're going to get Fantastic Four, November 8th, 2024. Rumors are that the cast will be announced at D23, coming up in a couple months. But we got 2 Avengers films in 1 year announced, both in 2025, one in May. May 2nd sees the release of Avengers The Kang Dynasty, and then the one that gets everybody going, Avengers Secret Wars, for November 7th, 2025. There are some other spaces that we don't have announcements for, but I'm really excited to finally see that we got some Avengers movies coming. Kang Dynasty, obviously we know Kang's going to be a big factor, and we've been saying we're leading into Secret Wars. So that's pretty exciting. I'm excited for Phase 5 overall. The thing that I'm most excited for, probably, well, obviously the Fantastic Four. But now we don't have a director. I believe that John Watts left the project, so we don't know who the director is. We don't know who the cast is. We're assuming that Krasinski's going to come back to play Reed, but that's just an assumption at this point, right? But we'll probably get that information at D23 like we were talking about. I am incredibly excited for Daredevil Born Again. Here's the thing. Do I think that Disney Plus can do it? I don't know. Are they going to adapt the Daredevil Born Again story, or are they just using Born Again as like a reference to be like, look, Daredevil Born Again, now we got him, we're doing him, Disney Plus. The way they utilized Kingpin and Hawkeye, kind of like, I didn't really like that. I felt like they softened him up a little bit. If you're doing Daredevil, and if you're doing a story based on a Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli masterpiece, you better bring the vital brutalness, the vital brutality of Daredevil Born Again. You better bring that in. You better do it. You better do it justice. I am ready for this. In 18 episodes? All right, Marvel, we've been criticizing you, talking about 6 episodes, maybe not enough time to do this stuff. We mentioned maybe 8 episodes would have been fine for Miss Marvel or Moon Knight. But y'all going to give us 18? How's that going to be broken up? I bet it's going to be broken up in 3 6-episode arcs. I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to release a show for 18 weeks straight. But then again, if they did, that would be kind of cool. But I'm excited to see that. Blade, obviously, super pumped to see Mahershala Ali play Blade. I've been waiting for this. Blade, that's one of my favorite movies. I got the VHS right here. Come on, y'all. Big Blade fan. Sure enough. The Avengers, Secret Wars. Like, a lot of us have been criticizing the MCU lately. Phase 4 being lackluster, feeling like it has no direction. Other people are like, calm down. They're just building up some new stuff, introducing some new concepts. Then we're going to get... And right after Love and Thunder, where there was like a tipping point of people being like, it was happening. This avalanche of people being fed up. We were commenting on this channel. You know, I enjoyed Thor, Love and Thunder for the most part. I think it's like 3 out of 5 you digs. Like, it's okay, but it's got some weak parts. It's got some okay parts, but it's got some decent, strong stuff too. But it's an unbalanced movie. But I think overall, people are just ready for that direction. They delivered it here. I think they delivered it by letting everybody know, okay, we are building up to Kang. We're building up to Secret Wars. Trust us. Here we go. It's starting to win some of that trust back. This could not be more perfectly planned and timed and paced out. So there you go. We also got to remember that there has been a halt on some of these Marvel projects when COVID hit. So we should be further along than we are. But now we have caught back up, and now it's time for these big announcements. And that is another thing that we were missing, is we hadn't had any big announcements really of what to expect since like 2019, right? So this was the first time they were doing San Diego, I think, back with a bunch of people there, and Kevin Feige blew it out of the park. Like, a lot of people very excited about some of this news. We'll see. I'm still very conflicted about the Wakanda Forever bit, because I feel they should recast T'Challa. But I understand, it's, how do you do a Black Panther 2 right after Chadwick Boseman dies? How do you do that? I think this movie is going to really kind of play up that sense of loss. I hope it's good. It's the next MCU movie that we're getting. It's November of this year. It's nice to get a trailer. I'm excited. I think I'm really excited to see Namor. I obviously, in a perfect world, Chadwick Boseman will still be with us. So I don't envy the decision makers there, but I think the character T'Challa is too important to let Chadwick Boseman, his unfortunate passing, kill the character. But I don't know. We'll see. They wowed me with that first Black Panther movie, so we'll see. She-Hulk, you know, we'll see what happens there. But I'm excited to check it out. I'm a John Byrne She-Hulk fan. I've been thinking about cracking open that omnibus, doing a reread or something. Guardians of the Galaxy, super pumped for that. High Evolutionary is one of my favorite characters. The Evolutionary War was going on when I was like really getting into comics. Like, I was reading them in the 80s, but when I was like going to shops and buying them myself, High Evolutionary War was going on, and I got into that. I got into that character, even to the point that my stage name when I would do rap and shit, when I would perform hip hop, was Contact. But I would either be Contact the One Hit Wonder, or just Contact, or Contact the High Evolutionary. Right? Yeah, anyway, so that was, or High Revolutionary is what I called myself. There you go. Other stuff is okay. Like, I'm not excited that much about most of this stuff. I mean, for the most part, though, I am, and I'm going to check out most of it. I want to see what y'all have to think about this news. Let's take a look real quick. PE Freak 520 says, I'm disappointed they didn't include Deadpool in the Phase announcements. I feel like that's probably one of the, a lot of people are speculating it's one of the missed ones, because we know that it's coming, right? But there you go. They made Gamora green, no problem. I don't see why they didn't go that route for She-Hulk's face, at least. Maybe it wasn't possible, since the rest of her body is CG. Yes, she's definitely a lot bigger. We'll see. Joram and Shin want to know, is it Killmonger? Is it Michael B. Jordan? You know, there are rumors of that. Maybe if we are in the multiverse saga, and that is what Phase 4, 5, and 6 are being called. So if 1, 2, and 3 are the Infinity Saga, this is the multiverse saga. So that is a thing, but I don't know. I think that it would be easiest just to go Shuri, but we'll see what happens. Could be M'Baku, could be Okoye. We'll see. If Namor doesn't look like Spock, it's a fail. I think he looks good. Shin Roku says, Blade, yes. Bakari says it's Shuri. Eric says, finally, we get a third Blade film. That's right, because there is no third Blade film. It never happened. Daredevil, yeah, I'm pumped. I hope they do Daredevil right. I really want Kang Dynasty to follow the Avengers Forever comic. Avengers Forever, written by Kurt Busiek, plus there's a Kang Dynasty story that's about that, but I think it will be mostly like, I think we'll see different versions of Kang starting in Quantumania, and I think we'll see different versions of Kang, and then the Kang Dynasty will like give us like, I know it will all culminate in that, and that will set up Avengers Secret Wars. What I love about it is that Fantastic Four is introduced first, and rumors, very strong rumors, that one of the biggest Marvel villains of all time will be introduced in the World of Wakanda movie, or the Wakanda Forever movie. So there you go. I'm going to be 30 when the X-Men arrives, says Shin. Well, how old are you now? I'm going to be older than that. And of course, we know that they're calling it the Mutants instead of X-Men. We'll see how they actually go with that. You can't deny, I think, the power of the brand and of the word X-Men. So that would be difficult. Eric says, Netflix basically did Born Again in season 3, which I've never watched. I still haven't seen season 3 of Daredevil, actually. I think it's just a name like Homecoming was for Spider-Man, a little wink. That's what I heard, but we'll see. Because how much of the Netflix stuff is canon to them? Maybe this is their chance to kind of redo it all. But I don't know. Did you know that Blade had an anime? Yes, I actually got my buddy's DVD copy of it right back there. Warren Ellis wrote that too, and I fucking love it. What will the Thunderbolts lineup be? Right now, seems like Yelena Belova. Abomination has been rumored for it. U.S. Agent. Think those kind of characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. There's even the idea that Jeremy Renner could be in it as Hawkeye. Clint Barton, I think that would be perfect because Hawkeye was the leader of the Thunderbolts for a while. We're not getting God Emperor Doom. We should just get regular Doom at first, but I don't know. There has to be a lot of movement to happen until Secret Wars to get that to happen, but we'll see what happens. But I think they'll definitely have Kang being involved more than... Kang wasn't really involved in the original Secret Wars. Not the original with the Beyonder. Kang wasn't... They're going to focus this one on the Hickman one, I think. They bring it in Marvel Knights. Yeah, they've already done a lot of that, right? What's up, Chicago Schultz? How you doing? They'll be able to recast a bunch after Secret Wars, though, right? Smash a bunch of universes together? They could. Will they? We'll see. Trade Paper Dad's excited for Wakanda and Kang. Shin's excited for Thunderbolts. Nick says, still haven't wrapped my head around the purpose of Phase 4. Seems disconnected, and they introduced a ton of realities. Dimensions, hidden worlds, and timelines. Oh well, P5 and 6 look sick. And then, maybe in hindsight, if 5 and 6 work, 4's okay. But here's the thing. Even in the Infinity Saga, which we all agree was awesome, I think there were some weak points, to be honest. I thought Phase 2 was kind of weak. Like, honestly, we had some great movies in Phase 2. Well, because Winter Soldier's Phase 2, right? But we also had Iron Man 2, Thor 2, Age of Ultron. I'm just saying. Eric says, Phase 4 was, let's toss crap against the wall. Some hit, some didn't. That's how it's always going to be, right? Eternals didn't hit. Not at all. But some of those missing things, obviously, we're probably going to get another Doctor Strange movie. We're probably going to get another Thor movie. We're probably going to get a Shang-Chi 2. I think we already know that we're going to get some of that stuff. And there's probably going to be another Spider-Man movie, right? Do you think they will cast Abomination? I love Tim Roth, but he's too old now. No, he's Abomination in She-Hulk. He's in She-Hulk. He's in the trailer. He's in She-Hulk. It's Tim Roth. Let's fucking do it, brother. He aged the right amount. I mean, the MCU timeline's kind of gone along with us, and now, especially with the post 5 years thing and COVID, we're kind of catching up to it, right? So, yeah, it's him. The reason everything feels disjointed is to set up the multiverse saga. Secret Wars will probably get rid of the other universes, etc. Maybe. I think we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously not the original, in the Hickman Secret Wars, all of the multiverse did collapse, and Doom had to save what he could into one planet that he ran as God Emperor Doom. And I love that series. Fantastic Four having their movie, though, what is it, the same year? Okay, So Fantastic Four is at the end of 2024, and then the 2 Avengers movies are after that. So it almost feels like they should have been planting the seeds of this earlier. When I do look at this, and I do look at some of the criticism lately that even I have had over Phase 4, I feel like they should have been planning some of this shit earlier. Because it almost seems like when you look at these movies, the Marvels is going to be focusing on their own thing. Blade's going to be his own movie. Like, when you look at this, how is it all going to be coming together? Does it really jump from some teases of Kang throughout some of these films and then right into Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and then the Avengers stuff? So, I don't know. Like, I do feel like they should have already... I do feel like they should have already been laying some of this groundwork faster in Phase 4, more than just introduce Kang and the multiverse. But they're also introducing new properties, so we'll see. We'll see how they handle it. But the Infinity Saga was very epic. It's going to be hard to top that, especially with the multiverse saga. We'll see what happens. If FF jumps right into Doom, I think it'll be a misstep. How do you explain Doom's backstory of the power cosmic to lead in secret? Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, there are rumors that one of the biggest Marvel villains of all time will make his first appearance in Black Panther 2. So we'll see. Time Told says, can't wait for Daredevil, but I need some more John Bernthal. Punisher in my life, yes. I have heard rumors. I think Perch was talking about that the rumors are that aside from Iron Fist, they're all going to be brought back in. We've already heard that they've been talking to Ritter for Jessica Jones. Punisher, that would be a big misstep not to bring him in as John Bernthal. We got Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio. Aside from Iron Fist, I think they may not even do Luke Cage for a minute, but we'll see. But we'll see what happens. But it would be weird to do a Fantastic Four movie and then, like, within a year, you're doing Secret Wars. And I don't know, because I think that the Four need to be a big part of that, so we'll see. I think they'll just introduce Kang in the movie the same way they had Ultron's entire arc. Well, we've seen a variant of Kang already, and we're going to see Kang in Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. We are going to see that. A PG-13 Blade will eat Donkey? I don't think so. I think you could do a PG-13 Blade. I don't think Blade needs to be rated R. But I do like the rated R Blade movies. The 2 that we've gotten, there's only 2. There's not a third one. But I think you could do a lot with PG-13. I think Blade can work. I think Blade worked on Spike, though, with Sticky Fingers. So what do I know? But, of course, there was a very R-rated version of that, too. That's the coolest thing about that DVD set. I don't have that DVD set. I need to get that. But one of the coolest things is that there's the made-for-TV version, and then it's like they filmed everything with more violence and nudity, and they put that out on its own. It's weird. It's weird to me. It's all about Mephisto. I've not heard that rumor or that speculation, Mike. All right. And let us know in the comments below what you think about the reveal of Phase 5 and Phase 6. My favorite thing about all of it is we're at the end of Phase 4. And it looks like Phase 5 and 6 are going to be hitting a little bit stronger. All right. It's time for Image in the 90s, but it's also time for a break. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Image in the 90s, Buddhist Fist movie review, top 5 2010 movies, and a little bit more. Catch you after a few minutes.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
I've been going through our new releases and I picked 2 incredible Vampirella Year 1 covers as giveaways for this week's shows. Monday with Robbie and Wednesday with AR Comics. But you gotta watch to see which one is gonna be featured on which day. So come check us out on the experience.
At 6 p.m. And those are Jay Lee covers and Lucho Perillo covers.
Thank you, Nick.
She was teasing you. She didn't want to say it, but I had to throw it out there.
All right.
So the best part, Amy's going to step in and let John... No, just Rex know which it is because she's making the call.
Okay, this is going on too long.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. We've been having a grand old time tonight. We've already been talking about all the Marvel Studios news from San Diego Comic-Con. We did the DC sneak peek. We looked at our favorite comic books from last week, looked ahead at what was coming up in this week. We got a little bit further to go. This has been a great show already. Thank you all so much for being here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps us out a lot, especially to watch the videos to the end. I know that this is like 3-hour stream every week. I know you don't have time for that, but maybe some of the smaller ones, just let them run all the way through. Really helps us out, helps us grow here on the channel, and all the growth that we get is because of y'all. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. You can find podcasts more at popculturephilosophers.com, as well as a link to PCP merch. You can also find those links in the description below of this video. You can follow us over at Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow me there at the Rockin Robbie. You can also support the channel with Super Chat or over on patreon.com/PCP. And I want to give a big shout out to Josh. Josh, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. And Dustin, pop, pop, boom. Really excited stuff. But all the support, just being here, participating in the conversation, that is support enough. But if you want to support the channel and actually get something really nifty and cool, you can get a PCP mystery box. They are now available. We only have less than 8 available at this point. They are $30. That includes shipping, and it's going to be a bunch of comics curated by yours truly, a hand-drawn sketch by yours truly, and some other fun little things are thrown in. PCP mystery boxes are well worth it. They ship out this week. We have less than 8 available at this point. $30 with shipping. Email us at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com if you want to check one out. Join us tomorrow night for Action Fest as it continues at 8 p.m. Central Time. We talk about the Golden Child. Perry will be there with us. Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's the monthly comic book review. We took June off, but we're back to talk about our favorite comic books of June and July. What are the best comics of summer 2022. Find out what I think, what Damien from Sleepy Reader 666 thinks, what Nick from Comic Culture thinks, and what Chris from Chaos and Comics thinks. And this will be Damien's first time on the channel. Very excited for that. Dylan's Horror Show, Saturday night. We're talking about Stephen King's The Night Flyer. All right. Mike says, I thought the Faygo Pineapple Orange was going to be a good substitute for Cactus Cooler. I could have told you, brother, that it was not going to be. I could have told you that. So how y'all doing? We've had a good turnout tonight. We really do appreciate everybody. You're getting that word out. Rockin Robbie Live, the place to be. If you like comics, movies, pop culture, and even a little bit of TV. TV-wise, I've been spending my TV time watching The Boys. I am now in Season 3, 3 episodes into Season 3, and I'm loving it. So I haven't gotten to the Hero-gasm stuff yet, but very excited. I really like The Boys. I thought Season 1 was phenomenal. I thought Season 2 started off slow, but really pulled it together at the end. And Season 3, I've been loving it so far, and I hear it's just the wild, most rambunctious season yet. Dynamite, our good friends, sent us the omnibuses, the omnibus collection, if you will, all 3 volumes, which are on the verge of selling out. So if you can still find those out there in the wild, I would highly encourage you to do so, because when they're gone, they're gonna be gone for a while. They're gonna have to print them again. But The Boys right now has not ever been hyper in popularity and potential. It's a big hit for Amazon and for Dynamite, Garth Ennis, and Derek Robertson. So I salute them for that, man. Honestly, at the time The Boys came out, I was getting a little kind of tired of the Garth Ennis doesn't like superheroes trope, and I fell out of it pretty quickly. So I never went to watch this show, but I kept hearing, especially in this latest season, how good it was. So I did go in and watch it, and I'm enjoying it so much. And it's actually, especially since Dynamite, they sent us the omnibus collections. I'm excited to dive in and check those out. So you probably hear me talking about it as I do that. I probably need to get to that She-Hulk first, though. Get ready for the show. Because when She-Hulk comes out, we are going to be doing one of those shows like we did with Miss Marvel, where each week we gather live on Wednesday night to talk about it. I like doing stuff like that. It gives me a good reason to watch it. It gives me a good reason to like put together thoughts on it and make it more important and significant than it actually is. All in all, though, I did like Miss Marvel. I thought it faltered at the end. We'll see. She-Hulk's going to be 8 episodes, I guess. We definitely need to start doing special PCP movie nights, too, when there's a big, like, Marvel movie coming out. We used to do that, so we need to do that more. I guess the next one would be Wakanda Forever. So there you go. All right, chat got a little quiet. It's okay. See, everybody's like, I think he's about to start talking about Rob Liefeld, so I know that y'all don't know quite the direction of where the final act of Rockin' Robbie Live is going to go tonight, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'd love to see a return of Luke Cage. I would love to see a return of Luke Cage. Like, I'm assuming you're talking about the MCU. What's up, Cirella Station? All right, we got 79 likes up in here. Yeah, hell yeah. If you haven't liked it already, please do. Like I said, having as many or more likes than the people active in the chat, that is a big deal. It really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. Or so we hear. Like, no, has anybody figured out the YouTube algorithm? Gotta say, I've never wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con in my life because it just seems like overblown too much. I love Heroes Con, which is a big thing, but very focused on comic book creators and less on anything else, right? It's all focused on creators. They got Indie Island. It's a much more personal experience for me, it feels. But after seeing people I know, like Jim Mint and Tom and others over at San Diego, and friends of the show, too, like David Pepose, Rom V, Josh Williamson. I was like, damn. Like, I kind of wanted to be there. When are we going to get to do the Rockin' Robbie Live tour on the road week to week? Right? Like, just go weekend to weekend across country, going to different cons, meeting the people in the community. Wouldn't that be a fucking trip? Wouldn't that be a trip? That would be fucking a trip. Two Gun says, I've been to San Diego once and I live in San Diego. Okay, so what? We in a couple of years, we going to do it? The problem is it's so close to Heroes Con. Heroes Con is the one I'm going to every year. Heroes Con's my favorite con. Next con I'm going to is Memphis Comic Expo, by the way. In September. Join us there. Oh, Dynamite should send me there next year? Oh, yeah? Maybe I should call up Whatnot. Hey! No, we do it for the love, man. I don't know. Like, I've never done, like, auctions and selling. Like, we sell the mystery boxes and shit like that, but I don't know, man. I think I'd be fine on Whatnot. Like, I'd be a good host for it, but I'll be honest with y'all, I do not like shipping stuff. So that's why we limit the mystery boxes. And there will be more available because when I did my comic book collection and I separated some stuff out from mystery boxes, I got a lot of that shit in there. And I'm going to start trying to filter some of it out. So that's mostly the reason why we're doing the mystery boxes. And I plan on doing them, like every week or so. Like another batch of mystery boxes are going to be available, getting them shipped out way sooner because people love the mystery boxes. But in the past, we have been slow on shipping. But that's not going to happen this time. It's like they're ready to go, basically. Like, I mean, I curate them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I curate them a little bit. If I know that like somebody's got one, I'm going to try to fill it out for them with stuff that I think they're going to like. So it's always fun. Those are available, by the way. PCP mystery boxes help support the channel and get some cool swag, including a signed hand sketch by Rockin Robbie. $30. That includes shipping. There are less than 9 available now. I guarantee there's less than probably 5 available right now. Anyway. Steel Bueller's Bus. Fucking get Bueller to come pick my ass up and take me to San Diego. The problem would be the trip. Because we're not going to make that trip in one day. And Bueller, there ain't enough room in that van for 2 dudes. Okay? And I've been on it. I've been on the Bueller bus. And that shit gets swampy. Okay? Gets a little swampy. C2E2 in 2 weeks. Yeah, I plan on going to C2E2 one day. This year, I picked those 4. Next year, I'm already picking my cons for next year. Obviously, Huntsville again, because that's my hometown show. Heroes Con again. But I'm not ready to fully announce and commit yet, but we got a really cool big con that we're doing next year, is the idea. No, I don't. I played HeroClix a few times. I mostly collected them for a while. I still have some pieces, like Dr. Doom on the Silver Surfer board. I still have that because I think that's gnarly and cool. But no, I don't really play any games. Emerald City's one I really, really want to go to. And MegaCon seems cool too. The problem is, excuse me, a lot of them get jumbled together. Like MegaCon, HeroesCon, and San Diego are like one after another, like month to month. I can't pull stuff off like that because I don't just do YouTube. You know, I got the day job too. I got to run the shop. So, though we do have a really good staff, but you know, obviously I can't take off every fucking weekend. But MegaCon is one on a potential list because MegaCon's awesome. I was really sad that I didn't go this last year. And I would love to meet you in person, Perry, and get high, so high. Hell yeah. Yeah, PCP on tour. That's what we're doing right now, the Rockin Robbie Live Tour. Next stop's in Memphis. Why don't you come up to Memphis, Perry, in September? If you decide to do a Bueller Robbie road trip, you have to film that shit. Yeah, you know, there'd be plenty of shit. And I loved it when he was here. You know, we did a show here in the studio, and we did a show in the bus. Super fun. Where's Memphis? It's in Tennessee, Perry. Memphis, Tennessee. Home of Graceland. Home of Elvis. Mike says, I know how we can travel across the country. The plan is already ready. We just need the funds. Okay. Maybe down in Memphis, Graceland's all in lines. It's a great lineup from Memphis. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, Jonathan Glapian, Dan Barrington, Kyle Hotz, Mark Wade, James O. fucking Barr, Liana Kangas, Kevin Nolan. I'm losing my shit. Memphis is going to be awesome. We were only planning on being there Saturday, but now we're actually thinking about staying the night on Saturday night just so that we can like hang out. Hey, Bullseye Bob's here. No, you haven't missed the review. We've been going long tonight because we've been talking a lot about the San Diego stuff. Daredevil Born Again. Huh. I hope you stick around for show and tell, Bob. I got something real fucking cool. Anyway. I don't know if Hooversville's in Tennessee. But no, you haven't missed the movie review yet. I almost wish you did, bro, to be honest with you. All right, it's time to do like Eric said and bring on the young blood. We've been building to this one. I was doing some New Mutants. I did some other Image books. You know, we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Image Comics. And we're not going to get through 2022 without doing the very, very first Image comic. Y'all know what it is. It's time for Image in the 90s. And today we're talking about Youngblood #1. Straight up, never read Youngblood, but I have collected the entire first volume of Youngblood, and I'm ready to dive in because I was never a Rob Liefeld fan at this time. But I started getting into Rob Liefeld, to be honest with you, more so when he was doing Captain America. I actually really like Rob Liefeld's Captain America run like a lot. So going back though, Youngblood was not something I was into. I was into Spawn. I was into Wildcats, but I wasn't into Savage Dragon, Cyberforce, or Youngblood. But I was into Brigade and Bloodstrike, and we're definitely going to be getting to those. So this is my first time reading Youngblood #1. First thing to notice, aside from it being the very first Image comic, came out February, I think? February or March of 2020, or 1992, sorry. Rob Liefeld's Youngblood. It is a flip comic, so it's two-sided. There is a story for the home team, the public team, and a story for the away team, or the covert team. We're going to start with the famous cover, the most famous image, and let's just dissect that first. First of all, this is a badass cover from Rob Liefeld. Like, seriously, X-Force was a huge hit. He had made New Mutants a big hit. Kind of got Louise Simonson, got Wheezy kind of fired off of the title, took it over, turned it into X-Force, started Image, and at the time wanted to do this book while he was doing X-Force and Cable, but Marvel wasn't going to let that be. Plus, he wanted to call it The Exterminators, but Youngblood has its genesis in early Megaton Man issues or something, right? Or something like that, right? Maybe not. Yeah, because Megaton Comics or something like that. So that was back in the day, in the 80s, but it finally sees its fruition. Youngblood is meant to be a superhero team that is known in the public. And this book does not do a great job of setting everything up for you. So you have to take for granted that you know what the premise is. But this story starts with Shaft in his civilian identity out there with his girlfriend, going through at the mall, and then he gets attacked. He has to start attacking his assailant. Turns out it's all a ploy, and then there's somebody with a gun on him, like a futuristic gun, shoots at him, but he's like a master marksman. He's like Hawkeye and kind of like Bullseye. So he doesn't have his arrows, so he throws a pin and takes the dude out. He tumbles off of the balcony, and he's like, this is the price of fame. This is the price of being known. You get some really weird, quirky Rob Liefeld artwork throughout this issue, but he hears that there's an alarm going off, a Youngblood alarm. He's going in. Then we get introduced to Bedrock. He eventually gets called Badrock because of the Flintstone connection there, but at first we get introduced to Bedrock. He is like a 13-year-old boy, but none of that stuff is referenced here. Then very quickly we get introduced to Die Hard. They all are receiving the call, the Youngblood call, the bat signal, if you will, the Youngblood signal. So Die Hard apparently is sleeping, I don't know, in some kind of technology or whatnot. None of these characters, none of the concept gets elaborated on or really fully introduced. Then we get Chapel. Now, Cartoonist Kayfabe did a video on this issue earlier this year, and one of my favorite bits of their video is when Ed Piscor's reading along the Chapel bit, because he's in bed with a woman. He's like a different woman every night, and then he just puts on his makeup and his costume, and he's like, yo, I got to dip out. Then we see Vogue, and she's intentionally going to be late just to ruffle some feathers. So they get to the meeting. They're there. Shaft's got his motorcycle indoors, or my bad, Chapel's got his motorcycle indoors. Now, I do know these characters, and I do know Chapel in particular because of Spawn. And one of my favorite moments in Spawn is because originally Chapel was the dude who killed Al Simmons, betrayed him and killed him. They changed that to Jessica with the movie and in the comic because of the rights issues and the Liefeld getting ousted and all that kind of stuff. Lots of more of the complicated stuff going on with Image Comics at this time is all the behind-the-scenes stuff, right? But I did know Chapel, and there was this great bit where he flayed some of Chapel's face off and gave him the actual skull look for real. But damn, I'm getting these characters confused. But Shaft, not the anyway. I was about to make a Shaft joke, but anyway, so Shaft is like, yo, we got to whip into shape. We got this thing. These supervillains are tearing ass across the supervillain team called the Four. So they're out just kind of destroying shit, I guess. And so Youngblood has to go after them. I think I've seen some of these characters before in like Brigade, I think, but Youngblood shows up, Die Hard swoops in, takes out that one dude. Jim Rugg on the kayfabe video mentioned, look at the back arc on Die Hard on that lower panel. It's kind of fucking ridiculous. But this is a really cool, solid page. We'll go through briefly again and talk about the artwork, but I really like this page. This is very heavily influenced by things like Fist of the North Star. I totally pick up that vibe, the small head, long bodies, long legs, long torsos, shit like that. But the dynamic kinetic energy of those lines behind, like, yeah, you're getting away with not doing backgrounds, but at the same time you're providing energy, and that's something that works for me here. And then you get the last big splash of Youngblood there, about to tackle the villains, and that's the end of that bit. Like, literally nothing. You don't get any introduction to these characters, not fully, and none of the concept. Like, they're supposed to be celebrity superheroes and shit like that. None of that is explained or laid out in the slightest in this issue. Now we're going to go to the backside. This is actually the more substantial story, even though it's the home team that becomes the more popular ones. That's the famous cover. This is the more fulfilling story, but at the same time, it's just kind of okay too. But let's get into it. So we got another cast of characters. We get introduced to this plot. We get, no, this dude isn't Saddam Hussein, but he's like Hassan Hussein, right? So it's a stand-in for Saddam Hussein. He's out there causing all kinds of shit. Youngblood has sent in basically their covert away team. And we get this nice double-page splash here. They're led by Sentinel. There's a bunch of characters here that I have no fucking clue who the hell these people are. I know Combat, because Combat's actually on Youngblood's public team eventually. And apparently Cougar, who's the dude with the white stripe. And he's like the Pepe Le Pew Gremlin stripe motherfucker right there. But like, he was originally designed for New Mutants or something. Anyway, they go after this Saddam Hussein stand-in. We get a little bit of information here. Like, Combat is like from a warrior race of people on another planet. He's got this interesting thing going on. So there's actually more development, not a lot, but more development on characters in this B story, which actually also has more pages. You get a really cool composition here. Cougar running up, like jumping across. I really love that face there in the corner right there. I love the line work going on. That looks very feral. Like, if you liked X-Force, this was your jam in these days, right? And then we got some Gideon, just some generic superhero type stuff. And they actually got some nice quippy dialogue kind of going back and forth. And by the way, the lettering in this book does suck. They mentioned it on that kayfabe video, but there's not a credited letterer. It is believed that maybe Liefeld did some of it, but it is shaky and it's not very good. But you got some nice dialogue, some nice quippy nature going on back and forth. We get introduced to some more of these characters that are very forgettable, but the story is a little bit more compelling to me than the story from the A-Team. So they go to this rundown place where they've gotten their intel that this Saddam Hussein guy, Hassan Hussein guy, is there. They're trying to get entry. They all start displaying their powers. We're getting some interesting stuff. Then they kind of get taken out. But one of them, this dude named Sci-Fire, he is like a telekinetic or something, and he shows up. Meanwhile, these dudes with armor show up, and you're getting to see Cougar and Combat kind of take these guys on. Combat loses his helmet. There's a cool design there. You're getting some cool kind of things, but it's just decent. But then you get this nice big splash of Combat there, and I actually really like it. I will point out on this page in particular, the coloring looks very much like mall airbrush t-shirt shop, okay? But you get a little bit more action from everybody. Everybody gets a spotlight for the most part in this story, which is really interesting. Then Sci-Fire finds this Saddam Hussein dude, uses his telekinesis or whatever, and blows this fucking dude's head off, right? Like, and that's what happens. He blows the fucking dude's head off. There it is. It happens off panel, but you see the blood splatter come across. I really like this page. Some interesting color too. I actually like the coloring here, but it's just like, It's just like, it's still like 1980s, early 90s mall airbrush t-shirt kind of thing. But all the rest of Youngblood show up. They're like, bruh, Sci-Fire, you killed him. You popped his head off. And they're like, yeah. And that shot of Sentinel right there on the right of the page, I fucking love. It's that Rob Liefeld shaded in eye sockets, but the tiny little bit of a glare on the pupil. I really like that. And they're all dealing there in the aftermath. And then they set it up like Hassan Hussein killed himself. So they don't take the credit for that. So what a weird comic book. What a very weird comic book. First of all, the big exciting story that involves Bedrock and Shaft and Die Hard and Chapel. And also, you got Combat on this cover, but he's on the other side, but whatever. This story barely gets to anything. There's nothing going on. That being said, Rob Liefeld's got some parts in here where his artwork soars. I really like the faces on this page, and including that big one of the woman, the anchor. I like that. There's some nice movement that you're getting. There's some wonky stuff going on with perspective, with anatomy, and I don't know Rob Liefeld's process. What I've heard is that he makes really tiny thumbnails, blows them up, and then draws on that. What I feel like is that he doesn't do a lot of underdrawing, so he doesn't kind of fit the volume right. He doesn't place the volume of the figures within the perspective and scene very well. I think he just like thumbnails out some cool poses and some cool sequences. And I think like a Kevin Eastman, his strongest point is his layouts and the way he can pace something out very big, boisterous, and kinetic. There are Kirby-esque layouts to me in here, but I think that he doesn't do any underdrawing. I think that he just kind of draws, and like that's how I like to do it. It's quicker that way, not putting in the work to see how the figures work in 3 dimensions. I think that's what goes on. I think that's why we get these wonky foreshortening, wide figures, extra volume added to characters that shouldn't be. There's a style he's doing, but I think he learned how to draw poses, and I think he just keeps drawing those poses. I don't think he does a lot of underdrawing. I think it's quick. I think it's rather dashed out in layout and then finished. And there are moments where the finishing works, but it's not the actual line work. Though there's something in the quirkiness of his line work. There's something compelling about it, but there is something about his layout and his pacing. I don't think he's on the level of a Kevin Eastman or a Frank Miller or a Jack Kirby. But he does know how to deliver what most of the audience wants at this time. And there are big moments that really work. And then there's a lot of cluttered stuff, but look at Chapel there on that previous page. That's pretty badass. But if you really start looking at it, it doesn't really quite work. But there is something about it that works. And what it is that energy that is brought, especially in the big pages. Even in this one with Die Hard breaking his back to deliver that punch, but you feel it. You feel it. So there is something. This page in particular is one of my favorites. The coloring in this book kind of blows. There are moments where it works, but moments where it doesn't. They're trying to figure out that digital color. And like I said, it looks like an airbrush mall t-shirt shop. This first story, though, structurally just doesn't do a good job of introducing the concept or the team. This backup story, though, a little bit better. I think the art is a little bit weaker here. This big 2-page spread, for instance, is a little over-cluttered. So that kind of hinders its ability to really knock us out. And I feel like this one, even though it's the better story, I feel like the art's not quite there. There are pages like this one where it really works, but then it just kind of feels mediocre and just like been there, done that with Rob Liefeld already. But the story is a lot better. But it takes a while to really get there to develop, and it doesn't have as many big action moments like the first one does. So it's really interesting. It's like this one's story heavy, the other one's more flash heavy, but all together it provides a rather uneven, yet at the same time kind of cool and fun reading experience. Youngblood #1. So all in all, I would give Youngblood #1 3 you digs. The low point of 3 you digs. Maybe like a 2.69. It is clunky as fuck. But it is dynamic, and it's got some interesting layouts and some work. Actually, it is more like a 2.5. It's a 2.5. Let's be honest. I dropped that. It's a 2.5. I can't even do it. Here is my issue of it. So I have gotten every single issue of this, and I'm excited to go through it. Next week we'll be doing Youngblood number 2, but there is no kind of like understanding of what the fuck these people are, who they are, how they came about being. Like, none of that happens, and it's one thing to be like, let's save that for later, but at the same time, like, there is nothing in this main story. You get more information on the backstory, but even then you don't get a lot. I really like the book. It's high quality, it's decent, it's newsprint. The colors work for some of it, but for some of it, it is just that orangey brown that you get, crudely airbrushed and stuff, but this was a whole new thing that was going on. I originally heard that this was originally supposed to be done in black and white, which there are moments where you see screen tone used, and I think that makes a lot of sense. There's this thing to enter the Rob Liefeld fan club. So, like, Jim and Ed on Cartoonist Kayfabe, they were talking about that what would this book look like in black and white? It kind of almost looks like it was rendered to be in black and white. This is weird ass. What the fuck? Like, just weird ass background hatching right there. Loose hatching that you'll see throughout this whole thing. Look at the shoulder pads right there. But there is something. There's something to me that's appealing about a Rob Liefeld face, about a Rob Liefeld composition. Youngblood number 1 though feels rushed, feels kind of thrown together. 2.5. It was an interesting experiment. I want to see how this develops though. I think the first volume is like 10 issues or so. Next time we'll tackle issue number 2, which is also the first appearance of Prophet. Another run, volume 1, I've been trying to collect. I need an issue 8 and 10. If anybody can help out, just let us know. You can reach out to comics. No, you can reach out to popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. But all in all, a fun experience. Not as strong as Rob's work, I think, on New Mutants, which we've been getting into, and we're still going to be unpacking here on Marvel in the 90s. But it's all right. It's like 2.5. It's 2.5. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about Youngblood, issue number 1, 20 years ago, y'all? And this has been Image in the 90s. John Hammertime Holshoe admits that he did the lettering. Jay Nunya says, I think Rob Liefeld's inker deserves more credit. Rob Liefeld is the inker for that one. But there's probably some help in the backgrounds. I'm sure he didn't ink all those action lines. Bobby says, I think Combat was related to Cable. I think a lot of these characters are related to Cable. Atomic Buzzer says, historic comic that's worthless. Jay Nunya says, 2.5, but I still like it. I enjoyed it for what it was, too. Trade Paper Dad says, I've never liked Liefeld's artwork, even back in the 90s. It doesn't get better over time. Bobby says, I give it a solid 3 if you throw in his 501 Jeans commercial. Yeah, directed by Spike Lee. What a world that was going on at that time. What a world. All right, these next 2 bits ain't going to take too long. Trade Paper Dad says 1.5 you digs for Youngblood. It was fun to revisit it. And we did the first 4 issues of Wildcats, and now we're ready to do the first 4 issues, I believe, of Youngblood. I think that's the first full bit. We'll see. We may just go straight through and do all fucking 10. I don't know. I bought these fuckers to do this, so we're doing it. Bob says, I have it a higher score back in the 90s because it was all eye candy back then, and the hype hadn't worn off yet. All right. It's time for tonight's movie review. Bullseye Bob, my Sifu's been guiding me through Hong Kong cinema, kung fu movies. And there have been some movies that I thought were okay, but for the most part, I've been enjoying most of these movies. I've even found some of my favorite movies watching these. That's not going to happen tonight, Bob. I'm sorry. This was the first time I was truly disappointed in a movie. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a movie from 1980 called Buddhist Fist. So I'm just going to be honest. I didn't like this film. I didn't like it at all. I watched it this morning. First thing I did, I wake up and I have a bowl and I watch a movie. And I did that the true OG fashion. And at first I was intrigued, but it was really hard to kind of follow this story. And it's got this quirky sense of humor that to me just doesn't land. And I don't typically like some of the more ridiculously humorous attempts at these kind of movies, and this one, some of that stuff just didn't work. Now, I believe this is the director of, or the action coordinator or something from Drunken Master. I recognize one of the dudes from it, but is this Wu Ping? Is Yu Ping or something? Bob will give us all the information. But it stars this dude. It's about these two friends. This guy is training with a Shaolin monk in training. He's learning Kung Fu, but he's not like a Buddhist, so he's not a monk. And his friend is a Buddhist, and he is a monk. And he goes away. This dude goes away to go to work at a barber shop, and some shit goes down there, so him and his buddy have to leave. So he goes back home to find his godfather, but his godfather's missing, and somebody's out there trying to steal this jade Buddha, right? And they're trying to build this mystery, and he goes back and visits this friend. And basically what happens is this guy is going to try to find his godfather. He finds him. He's been killed by this dude. There's this dude who's got a little foot and a big foot they're looking for. But it's got so much quirky sense of humor that it just doesn't quite work for me. The ultimate result, though, is that this dude, who is the childhood friend of this guy, it's him who's responsible for all of it. But at the end, they have this big fight. And the choreography in this is actually pretty good. Even if it's just a chess match, the choreography of everything works, and it hits, and it's cool. But it's based in this humor that doesn't work, and it takes away from the heaviness. If this story really wants to elevate this story of these two childhood friends who have to come together in mortal combat at the end, and spoilers, at the end, the bad guy, if you will, doesn't kill the good guy, and he does it for Shaolin, I don't know. It didn't really work for me. It was overly trying to be humorous, but at the same time, it was trying to do serious things, and it had really bad dubbing. Now, I watched it on YouTube for free, and sometimes you got to forgive the dubbing, but this one is just the dubbing was so bad, it kind of took me out of it. I didn't necessarily like the music, so I didn't really like this film, honestly, and that's okay. They don't all have to be winners. But this one, I was kind of disappointed in it. So 2.5, you digs, is what I'm going to give it. If you've ever seen The Buddhist Fist, let me know what you give it. But all in all, I found the story forgettable, not very inspiring. Performances were good. The action was good. But there was just too much humor kind of in it that really messed me up that I just didn't like. It was overly silly in a movie that just didn't quite hit for me. So 2.5 from me. What do you think? Yeah, and the two friends, one of them uses Buddha fist and one uses Buddha palm. So it's about the different techniques. There's even a bit where there's I don't know, is it a vampire or a zombie or some shit? Some dude? I don't know. It was a weird movie. This was not the best week for me, y'all. I watched House of a Thousand Corpses and enjoyed it, but I did not enjoy Devil's Rejects, did not enjoy Three from Hell, did not enjoy The Buddhist Fist, and did not enjoy The Golden Child, which we're talking about tomorrow. So we need some winners coming up, y'all. So I just got to depend on True Lies and Night Flyer. Come on. However, next week we're going back to our John Carpenter watch through, and we're on his movie number 4, which is Halloween. So next week, your homework is to watch John Carpenter's Halloween. And maybe I will have watched Nope by then, because I really want to talk about Nope. Anyway, let's see what y'all are saying. Hey, we got Chris for Chaos of Comics here. What's up, Chaos Station? Wu Ping, okay. Was it better than 3 from Hell? Apparently, because I gave 3 from Hell a half a you dig. Bob says, they can't all be good. That end fight was next level, though. One of my top 10 fight scenes ever. I can understand why. The choreography was great in it, but it was the humor. I don't really like the humor so much, right? Like, if you notice, the ones I really like are the ones that are a little bit more like somber and like real, not real, but like somber and like grounded in like revenge or some shit like that. Like the ones I keep thinking about, Hero, obviously, House of Flying Daggers, but like fucking 36 Chamber of Shaolin and Invincible Pole Fighter, I think, has become even more and more of a favorite of mine as I've thought about it. I like The Hidden Fortress. Chaos says, Robbie is reviewing this movie like girls review my dates with them. Okay. Bob says the next Kung Fu movie is Tai Chi Zero. Okay. Tai Chi Zero. All right. Brofisto. Wait till Horror Fest. I cannot wait for Horror Fest. It's almost here, y'all. It's almost here. We're probably like, we're literally just a couple weeks from like the reveal, I think. Dylan needs to start working on his damn list. He is working on the list. Anyway, time to go to 2010, talk about our top 5 movies. And y'all, I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed in 2010. I looked at this list, it's all right, but I got no honorable mentions because I came up with like a list of like maybe 6 or 7 movies. So let's just get right into it. 2010 overall, weak year for cinema in my opinion, but I did have 5 that I thought were rather strong. At number 5, Social Network, David Fincher film. It was an Oscar darling, but I liked it. It's about, Facebook. It's about how Facebook started, but I actually really like this film. I think the soundtrack by Trent Reznor, and I think it's Atticus something or whatever, is really good, and I really like the performances from Jesse Eisenberg and Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield. No, but I like it, so I'll go Social Network at number 5. At number 4, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Edgar Wright, taking all 7 Scott Pilgrim books by Brian Lee O'Malley, and really crafting something special and cool and unique with it. I really like this book, and I really like this movie. I thought it was a really solid adaptation. Definitely something to uncover and unpack on PCP Movie Night at some point in the future. At number 3, I'm going Frozen. This is an Adam Green movie. I covered this on this very show about a year or 2 ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It was my first time watching it, and I love this movie. It's an Adam Green film about 3 friends who get stuck on a ski lift while the ski resort closes over the weekend, right? I absolutely love this movie. It is gnarly. It is scary. It's fucked up is what it is. You got to watch that movie. At number 2, True Grit, the remake by the Coen brothers. Absolutely love this film. I like the original, but I love this remake. Jeff Bridges just kills it. Kills it for me. And what's her name? Haley Steinfeld or whatever, who is now we know as Kate Bishop. She is amazing in this film as just a little young buck. And at number 1, Inception. Christopher Nolan. Love this movie. I know it gets blown out over too much. I know it's overblown, probably overhyped at the time, but I love this film. I think it's intelligent. I think it's smart. I think it's visually stunning. I think it's well performed. And it is by far my favorite movie out of all of my favorite movies from kind of a lackluster year for me. So, I don't know. There's some other good movies, but these are the ones that took the cake for me. At number 5, Social Network. At number 4, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. At number 3, Frozen, not the Disney one. And at number 2, True Grit. And at number 1, Inception. I want to know, what are your top 5 movies of 2010? All right, let's see. William says 2010 films: Despicable Me, Kick-Ass, Shutter Island, Machete, and Let Me In. Let Me In I really like. I like the original better, but Shutter Island's okay. Kick-Ass is solid too. Kick-Ass was one of the honorable mentions. If I did honorable mentions, it was going to be Kick-Ass, The Town. That's all I have written down. Book of Eli. I've never watched that one, actually. The Town's okay. Chaos likes The Town, though. Frozen above Scott Pilgrim? Yes. Frozen is a very effective horror film. That's more of a survival film, but three friends, it seems silly. Three friends get stuck on a ski lift at a ski resort, and then the ski resort closes for the weekend. But it's like one of the worst storms that ever comes through, so they're like freezing to death. And they're up on this fucking ski lift that they can't drop down. It's really fucking good. Y'all need to check out Frozen. If you haven't already. Frozen's dope. But I've never seen Book of Eli. All right, time for show and tell. Show and tell tonight. First of all, got these Death Dealer. That's right, Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. We got sent issue 1, issue 2, and issue number 3. And these are the Virgin Frazetta covers. The one for issue number 1 is actually a limited edition of 600. We were sent these by Frazetta Girls, which is the company that is keeping alive the legacy of Frank Frazetta, run by, I think, his granddaughter, Sarah. So she reached out and sent us these. So props to them for that. That's awesome. That's awesome. What else we got here? All right. Bob, you still here? Scarpad says, Hot Tub Time Machine. All right. Timothy Olyphant and the Crazies. I thought the remake of the Crazies was just okay, though. I don't know. Winter's Bone is my favorite film of 2010, says Chaos. I'm not familiar with that one. True Grit is the shit, says Eddie. Eric says Shutter Island, Inception, True Grit, Scott Pilgrim, Predators. This one is a shrug pick. I've never seen that one either. Mike says top 5 in no order: Scott Pilgrim, True Grit, Inception, Inside Job, The Town, honorable mention, The Other Guys, and Super. Haven't seen Super either. I heard good things about that. It would be cool to have a hot tub in your living room, Perry. I have to check that one out then. Chaos, Winter's Bone. I don't even remember ever hearing about it. So, all right. I hope Bob's still here. There he is. Look what I just got. So it's not the hardcover, so it's not the actual size of the original artwork, but I got the Daredevil Born Again Artisan Edition. This is the paperback edition. It was a little bit cheaper. It's only $50 as opposed to like $150. But this is reproductions of the original art from David Mazzucchelli for the entirety of Daredevil Born Again. This is awesome. And they do this cool like cover overlay. So you see there's this element, and then there's the Kingpin element. And then we overlay it, and we get the cover. So lots of that kind of stuff. You get to really see the use of the white media that is heavily utilized in this. I have already flipped through this several times. David Mazzucchelli is a master, just a master craftsman in comic book art. There's use of white media, screen tones, duo shade even. Really cool stuff. This is a treasure to have. I've never really gotten into artist editions or anything like that. They're usually out of my price range, though I have pre-ordered the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man one. But knowing that they have done some of these in black and white, or in a paperback edition, I should say, I wanted to seek one out, and I figured this would be a great one for the first one. So here's another great usage of that overlay. You see the cover right there? You see this? Let's overlay that. And then we get the cover. That's really freaking cool stuff. What else we got here? There's tons of that cool. There's one that shows a piece of screen tone. Is that back here? By the way, all of these Born Again issues have started creeping up again. Yeah, right here. So we see this. So we see that in the original artwork. They just repeat an image for the monitors. But there's a piece of screen tone that's overlaid for that one monitor where Cap's standing. And so it's just cool. I just love seeing shit like this. And you know what? There's a few more of these paperback editions I'm going to be picking up. So, yeah, those are dope. So that was really, really excited. And I bought this before the announcement came for Daredevil Born Again. And I was like, it was Ka. There you go. I also picked this up because in the Eisners, the thing I'm most excited for is Barry Windsor Smith winning. So I did finally pick up a copy of Monsters. I had not bought this yet. I haven't read this. But I was flipping through it with my buddy Kevin Stokes. Kevin Stokes is my buddy who's a comic book artist, been a professional artist since the 90s. He's got a new book coming out, Sasquatch War Ender. It's available on Indiegogo right now. I think it's about to be launching. You can go check it out. But I was showing him this book and the amazing work from Barry Windsor Smith. This book took like 30 years to put together. Started, I think, as a Hulk story, evolved into something way different, and apparently really fucking good. So I am very excited to have this. You know I'm going to do a video when we talk about when you know we're going to do a video or a segment or something when I finally read that. All right, got this. Ooh, this is heavy. He-Man and She-Ra, complete guide to the classic animated adventures. Really nice, big, thick hardcover from Dark Horse. I've got the Art of He-Man. I've got the mini comic collection. I've got the newspaper strip collection. I've got the action figure collection. So this is going through every episode of He-Man and She-Ra. But each episode has pages devoted to it, a synopsis, key art from the episode, fucking storyboards from the episodes. Really freaking cool stuff in here for a Motu fan. So really excited for this. This goes along with the collection. We may show more of that full collection off next week. So there's that. Salt was a good movie. Wish they would have made a second. Salt was okay. I watch True Grit pretty often, says Bob. Love that movie. Trade Paper Dad's Top 5 of 2010. Book of Eli, Inception, Losers, Salt, and Predators. Chaos said the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man Artist Edition just got solicited. I had to pass it up. Yeah, I ordered one. It's the first hardcover Artist Edition. I'm ordering. I'm ready. Eric says the Artist Edition is awesome. Mazzucchelli is on my Mount Rushmore comic artist. Have you read Asterios Polyp? Shit's so good. What, no Kevin Smith version? Bob says that's one of the coolest Artist Editions. Yes. I am very pumped and still available. There's my buddy Stokes. I was just talking about your book, bruh. Talking about the Daredevil Mazzucchelli and the monsters. We were going through both of those the other day. Station, Kevin. How you doing, bro? I've had Kevin's printer since Heroes Con, by the way. Anyway, and the final thing for show and tell tonight. I hope Fable's still here because I finally got it. And this is what I was alluding to earlier. I think with this piece, I'm almost done. I still got some Dinobots to get, but I'm mostly done with Transformers now. I know you have said that before. But this is Laser Optimus Prime. This is G2 Optimus Prime to go with my Megatron. So there you go. He's the big diesel gas truck. He's ridiculous, but I wanted this so bad. And I finally got it. So, there you go. We'll open that one day. One day soon. Oh, Eric has checked it out based on your rec. Well, did you like it, Eric? Did you like it? And I got it based on Dennis Camp's recommendation. All right, and after show and tell, it is time for your Final 5. I almost said 9. All right, so we last left with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I got Texas Chainsaw Massacre number 2. I missed out on the Scream Factory, but this is the European Arrow edition. I have a region-free player, so that's cool because this was way cheaper than trying to buy the Scream Factory one here. But anyway, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, which leads us to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface, which leads us to Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation. This is Part 4. This has Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey in it. I remember liking this one, but it's been a while. And that's all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres I have. It's just the first 4. Then they did the reboot and on from there, but I get spotty there. Then we got They Live, a movie we'll definitely be talking about soon when we do our John Carpenter walkthrough, which, by the way, continues next week with Halloween. And another one we'll be getting to is The Thing. 2 great John Carpenter films, and that wraps up tonight's... Where the fuck is the button? That wraps up tonight's... Final 5. What a great show. Great turnout. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much. Like I said, though, coming up tomorrow night, The Golden Child on PCP Action Fest. Join us at 8 p.m. Central Time. Best Comics of the Month for June and July. That's going to be Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Me, Damien from Sleepy Reader 666, Nick from Comic Culture, and Chris from Chaos and Comics. That's going to be a great show. And Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show, The Night Flyer. And then we got PCP Mystery Boxes now available. There are less than probably 5 available at this point. $30, that includes shipping. They ship out this week. Filled with comics, an original sketch from Rockin Robbie, that's me, and some nice little fun little tidbits here and there. It's going to be a great box. We got only a few available for this week. $30, that includes shipping. If you're interested, email us at popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. And that's been the show tonight. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stokes, I hope that you checked out the Image in the 90s bit where we talked about Youngblood number 1. If not, definitely check that out on the replay. Eric says Asterios Polyp was mind-blowing. Station. We're definitely doing a Comics Revisited on that soon, and I think I got Dennis committed to doing it. Dennis Camp. If y'all haven't checked out that conversation, definitely check it out. Me and Brian had a great conversation with Dennis Camp on Thursday night. It was amazing. This is the second time we've had him on the show, and it was super, super fun, and I enjoyed it. And he talked about Mad Men. He talked Mad Men up pretty heavily, so I may have to check out Mad Men. May have to check it out. But anyway, loved it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, we're dipping out for now. There are always rumors of post-credits around these parts. But thank you all so much. You've been dolls. You've been dreams. Just fucking end it. Just fucking end it. Anyway, thank you all so much. Y'all been the best. We're dipping out. Holla.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
How's it supposed to feel?
They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy. Nah, bitch, I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living out every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I said.
Yo, PCP Army, how's it feel up in the house on Sunday nights? We be up all night. How's it supposed to feel? Yo, snap, crackle, pop in the room. Pop, pop, boom. Yo, what you doom? Everybody knows it's Dr. Doom. When I come in through the room, everybody hit the Zoom. What's up? If anybody's caught on yet, you know, we're never done when I say we're done until we're done and when I say we're done. You know what I'm saying? They want to say my name, but they hold him back. They want to say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games. I just do that's fact. I don't feel no shame. It's a mood you like. I ain't crazy. Nah, bitch, I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right of fuels, get me hazy. About to unpack all these dreams I've been chasing. I got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath. I'd rather lead than be led. I feel the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. We're doing a taste test. Not super excited for this one, but we're doing it. Whoever the artist Marshmello is has done a artist creation of a new Coca-Cola, zero sugar. So I guess that's It's an artist, Marshmallow. So this is described as a strawberry watermelon. What the fuck? Strawberry watermelon flavored 0-calorie cola. Now, I like Coke Zero Sugar. But I don't like watermelon flavor. Like, I like watermelon, but I don't like watermelon flavor. So we're going to try this. This is like an exclusive somewhere, I think Walmart or some shit. I don't fucking know. Let's do it! You know, the last one, Coke creation they did was that grape one, Coke Bite. Ugh, but the Starlight one I really like, so let's see. Smells good, smells good, smells good. Let's do it. Yeah, I fucking like that. I like that. I like that. Oh my goodness, I like that. Oh my goodness, I like that a lot. That's good. I don't taste no watermelon. Maybe it's there a little bit, but the strawberry, but the Coke, you taste the Coke. The strawberry water, it makes it taste like Coke with like a fruity bubblegum aftertaste. I really fucking like this. Holy shit, this is really good. 5 you digs, y'all. I am shocked. That's delicious. That's really fucking good. Who would have ever have thought that a strawberry watermelon Coca-Cola Zero Sugar would blow my fucking mind? This shit is really fucking good. I thought this would be worse than Youngblood number 1. Anyway, so I got to give a major shout out to Mike the Voice Matthews for hooking me up with that. Thank you, Mike. Mike gave me this. He's always on the lookout for things for me to taste test, including this. So we got a European market here, and I love the Fanta. I had my Fanta this morning. Like, the European Fanta orange is, if you've never had it, you have to. There is a European version of orange Fanta that is like the best soda I've ever fucking had. So anyway, Mike was at the European market. He picked me up a Lion Bar. He picked some of these up when he was in Canada for me. The peanut butter and the chocolate one. This is a coconut one. So he picked this up for me. Wanted me to taste test it. So this is available in Europe and Canada. But it's a Lion coconut bar. I like coconut bars, like Mounds. Now, the Lion bars that I've had before are really fucking good. So that's it right there. Looks like it's white chocolate with coconut. See? There's a wafer in there. Caramel, too. Oh. Oh. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, my God. This is good. This is so good. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's so good. It tastes like Oh, my God. They're these like coconut cookies. They're not like Samoas, but the white chocolate gives it a different kind of, a lighter chocolate flavor. Man, oh my God, it's so good. Oh. Y'all, you're killing it with these fucking snacks tonight. That's so good. Oh my God. Chewy too. Oh my goodness. Mr. Big in Canada. Lion Bar in the UK. That's what it is. Thank you, Mike. That's fucking delicious. That's delicious. Five, you digs. I watched some shit movies this week. This Coke Zero and this Lion Bar make now. I can't take a swig of this. This will taste like shit now. Yeah. It just doesn't taste like nothing. Oh my God, this Lion Bar is delicious. Holy shit. Oh my goodness, me. You know, it's been a while since I had an energy drink before the show. I used to do it on the regular, especially probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now I know why we used to do 4-hour fucking streams. Yeah. Mike, deuces, man, this shit's awesome, bro. The Coke, but the Lion Bar, that's delicious. So I was going to say, it tastes like those coconut cookies that you get. They're not Samoas, but there's the coconut cookie. What the fuck is it? That's goddamn delicious. Y'all, get you a Lion coconut. Get you a marshmallow Coca-Cola. Shit's fucking awesome. Tonight's been, yeah, so good you got to smoke after. That shit's so good, y'all. We had a great show tonight. Thank you for that. We're out for real. Oh, and station. Pop, pop. Boom!
Guys, I've been going through our new releases and I picked 2 incredible Vampirella Year 1 covers as giveaways for this week's shows. Monday with Robbie and Wednesday with AR Comics. But you gotta watch to see which one is gonna be featured on which day. So come check us out on the experience.
At 6 p.m. And those are Jay Lee covers and Lucho Perillo covers.
Thank you, Nick.
She was teasing you. She didn't want to say it, but I had to throw it out there.
All right.
So the best part, Amy's going to step in and let just Rex know which it is because she's making the call.
Okay, this is going on too long.